on. I got to find my machete.
Bring it on. Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Well, you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
Whoever Omaha, I can promise you that.
And a purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
Dave, you're muted.
I don't know why I did that. Welcome into the Sports Objective here on the Extra Innings on the Sports Objective. I'll get it right. We're talking Pirate baseball as the Pirates win 1 out of 3 in Conway. We'll be talking about that. We're going to be talking about men's basketball later on, women's basketball, softball. There's a lot of great stories there. And women's basketball, 22-9. How about that? So we'll be talking about that later on. And there's some other Pirate news. And I'm sure there's some Kyle from LaGrange Barber news, Stevie news, Alan and Johnny news, Johnny stats. We'll do that. And we have Justin Butts coming up. And Matt. We'll also have Matt on. Matt Semenza is going to participate in our roundtable. So we're going to have a full house here tonight, and it'll be standing room only. Right, Alan Vick?
That's right. Just glad to be here, gentlemen. It was a busy weekend, but glad to be here.
Kyle from LaGrange Barber. What's up, dude?
Just chilling like a villain, looking at the ceiling, riding my big wheeling. What's going on with you?
Stevie Fly, once again, I'm very jealous of your studio. You're going to have to help us with that. Like, how can we get a studio like yours?
It's in the back cave, Dave. Nobody knows about it except that picture. I shouldn't even put it up there, but yeah, I can't come up with a rhyme as quick as Kyle has. So I'll just say he's a poet and didn't know it.
Well, Johnny Robertson is freestyling tonight. And Johnny, you got anything for us?
Freestyle wise, and no, sir, I do not. No, I can't compete with
He's
Kyle.
Reloaded.
Are you kidding me? Kyle's a
I
legend.
am the rap master.
Yeah, I'm like Alan. I'm glad to be here tonight. I'm glad that we're coming off. We salvaged a win, and we'll talk more about it. But all is not lost. The weekend it didn't go exactly how we wanted it to, but we'll get into that later. But keep your heads up, Pirate fans.
I want to bring this up for Kyle because I had PTSD watching those games and watching the ballpark where we were back in June. And
PTSD like a flea.
Oh my God, he's gonna do that all night tonight.
Yeah, it's
we
Kyle.
Created a monster.
We had Kyle leashed, and now he's Kyle unleashed tonight. So anyway, we're wanted to talk about the game. So overall, I was going to say that it was flashbacks from the regional. So we've got to. We won 1 out of 3. Get the hell out of Dodge. We're coming right now back to Greenville. We've got a great thing right now where we are coming back, and we've got Old Dominion on Tuesday. I think it's going to be we'll have let's see, Pennsylvania on the weekend. So overall, I'm happy that we get to move on, and it's kind of like Alan Vick, the 1983 NC State 30 for 30, survive and advance.
Hey, all not lost for the weekend. We got a lot to talk about, but hey, I enjoyed today, and hopefully today is the beginning of things getting turned around.
Well, you got a situation where we went to Coastal, and you're getting them at the right time. Their pitching staff is banged up, and you get them on Friday, and you have all the momentum, and you can't close it, and then you get into extra innings, And Coastal is so aggressive, and we'll break down Friday's game. Coastal is so aggressive, and that's the biggest thing I noticed about Friday night in extra innings. We seem to be just, trying not to lose the game. They were attacking. And kind of reminded like us in football, how we're always attacking. And that kind of reminded me of Coastal at extra innings Friday night. And then yesterday was just a bad performance. Today we played well. It's just, you had an opportunity to go down there and take 2 out of 3, and you just couldn't get it done. And it's disappointing. And it seems like in recent history, we don't seem to be able to win a lot of these big games. And, we had a 2-2 week. It wasn't horrible. And Coastal was the runner-up for the national champions last year. And you take Saturday's game out of the equation. We played well. We played well Friday. We played well today. But, we're around the 500 baseball team, and it's in March. And, we need to get on a winning streak here and start taking these series, because these conversations about it's still early, for too long, it ain't going to be early anymore. And we've played a tough schedule, but we always do. I'm a little disappointed because I really liked our chances to go down to Conway to get to this weekend. And unfortunately, we didn't get it done.
Yep. And Stevie, just want to get your take on things for the weekend.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing that we didn't get 2 out of 3, especially that Friday game was right wired in our reach, and we just couldn't close it out. But it's a long season. I know we keep saying that, but it's a long season. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And maybe this will be, the game today will be something to get us momentum for the rest of the year.
JR, when Friday night, and I noticed it Saturday too, when Coastal has things start going their way, they just let it snowball in a good way. They get so aggressive. When they sniff the least little bit of thing going their way, they get so aggressive.
They do, Kyle. I'll give you a great example. You were talking about Friday, Coastal being very, very aggressive. Okay, we have a 2-1 lead. I'm sorry, a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's 2 outs.
Yeah.
And they hit a ball that doesn't even get out of the infield. I'm not even going to say who they hit it to, but they hit it to one of our infielders, and he didn't really have a play at first base by the time he got the ball, but he threw it to first base anyhow. Meanwhile, the runner that was on second is going to home plate and scored the tying run. If he doesn't score that run, we win that game 6-5. Yep. It doesn't go into extra innings, and they don't hit a grand slam. That's a lot of projection. I realize that, but their aggressiveness certainly paid off for them on Friday night in that instance for sure.
Yeah, paid off in extra innings too. It's just the way they always just attack. They never play back. They never let you dictate. They attack.
Yeah, I also thought we lost a run. We gave up a run a couple of times. When we did try to get aggressive, it was in spots where we really shouldn't have. We were down big, and we tried to steal a base and got thrown out by a mile. And then, as it turned out, the batters behind them, we would have scored a run if we hadn't been thrown out at second base. If we didn't try to steal when it wasn't really called for. So, it's just they know exactly when to be aggressive, and it's most of the time for them. But it just seemed like when we picked times to be aggressive, it wasn't the right time. But I'm not. I hope we stay aggressive. I like that style of baseball.
I don't. Attacking baseball, aggressive baseball. I don't mind either style. I think you can be conservative and win in baseball, as long as you're do it in the right way. But I don't know. And Cliff knows what he's doing. But it's just like I say, it's just frustrating, man. It's just so the Carolina series, you go 1-1-1. You could easily took 2 out of 3 there. This series, you lose 2 out of 3. You had Friday in the bag yesterday. We played like crap. We made their pitcher, who hadn't played well all year, he went 8 scoreless. It was just it's just irritating.
I was just going to ask you guys about one of the things I noticed is that the pitchers on Friday and Saturday were able to get a lot of easy outs, like pop-ups and things. And it's the way that wherever they're putting that that ball over the plate or whatever. Maybe John, I know John listens and watches the show, but I just felt like that was one of the things I noticed today. We didn't have, whenever we have a pitcher that doesn't know where to put the ball on the plate, over the plate, I just noticed it was different today, where we were getting better hits, where the guys on Friday and Saturday were giving us very little or nothing. And so we got to find a way. How do you answer that whenever you have the pitching is not going your way? I think the overall, as far as the umpiring, we can't use maybe Friday night, but we can't use the excuse as far as the strike zone. I didn't think Friday was the worst of the three, but
yeah, but Friday we only I think struck out maybe 4 times. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, we struck out 4 times and we walked 6 times. So I mean, at the plate, I mean, we had, we weren't getting like blown away. We had 9 hits, and 4 walks, 6 walks rather. So, I mean, we got a base 15 times. It's just, with 2 outs, we couldn't do anything. They were getting a lot of runs with 2 outs. We weren't getting any runs with 2 outs. That was the big difference. Yeah, that was a big difference for game 1.
All right, let's go to some comments real quick, guys. Chuck says, good things happen when you swing the bat. No more bunt ball.
I don't mind bunting. He's got to do it at the right times.
Who mentioned that in the chat today?
Matt.
Yeah.
All right.
About bunting? What did he say?
He was just questioning that time of the bunt, I think.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with bunting.
No, he was just questioning the time.
The William and Mary and ODU games are on the road, aren't they?
No, ODU is home on Tuesday. On the road, William and Mary.
Okay, gotcha.
It does make sense that you would think that we would play.
Yeah, it does. You're right there together, Norfolk and Williamsburg.
Yeah. Kenny says 2-2 for the week. Would like 3-1. Big home game schedule ahead.
Yeah, we need to go 5-0 this week.
Yeah.
Really do. Yeah, we play William and Mary on Wednesday, correct? Bomb Boxer, hi.
Hi.
Oh, boy.
Chuck says Alec.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I am. Don't worry. Alex Boucher was a spark plug today. Kenny says he's a little concerned with not getting the long ball home runs, but I did enjoy seeing all those singles and doubles today.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta when you're not hitting the long ball, you gotta have protector. You gotta have your batting order correct if you're gonna be a single, double, triple base. So a lot of guys on base RBI type team that's not hitting the long ball. You gotta have your batting order right, and that's something I'm not sure we've done yet.
Chuck says we need to be aggressive at the plate. Oh, he says that again.
Yeah, he said it again. Hey, with the home runs though, I mean, we had 3 for the weekend. Braden had 1 to lead off the game.
Yeah.
On Saturday, and then we never hit it. We never got another run. But as far as home runs go, yeah, I agree, Kyle. It'd be nice if there were more people on base when we hit them. But our first conference series is against UAB. They have 34 home runs. They've hit 34 home runs. We've hit 10. They have a guy on their team, JD Head, that's hit 10 himself. So
what's his name was BJ Head. What's UAB's record?
What's UAB's record? They played a tough schedule, but they're like number 11 RPI, which is a joke. They're 10-6.
Okay. Well,
but,
that might not be a joke.
They're not the 11th best team in the country.
No, I wouldn't think so. But your record's your record, so to speak. And if their RPI is that high, they probably played a tough schedule, and their record's not bad. So is this league, is the American a little deeper than usual this year?
I think so.
I think we might.
I think we're going to get more than 1 bid.
Oh yeah, I think UTSA and us, and maybe
South Florida, Dave, is doing things.
Yeah, we've got a big series with them.
Charlotte is very, very, very good. Charlotte could win it all. So any of those 4 teams could really win it.
Boy,
Florida
we better beat
Atlantic could be
Charlotte.
sneaky. So it's deeper, which is going to help us as far as RPI is concerned.
As long as we're good.
Yeah.
We should be. I mean, well, I think we're good now. We just ain't winning at the rate we should. But
Just haven't
we're
put it
not. We're not a
together.
bad baseball team, and JR is gone, so he'll be back hopefully.
He's getting reloaded.
Yeah.
Oh man. So have you talked? What do you think about overall Friday night? Obviously the Grand Slam.
Oh gosh.
Friday night was. I mean, it was a good baseball game. It was a great baseball game. You back and forth. We had momentum. After what was that, the 7th, 8th, and we had all the momentum, and they came back and tied it, and you sent it in the extras, and you figure if you can just get into their bullpen a little bit when the extra innings, because we have better bullpen depth, we would. I really liked our chances to win it going into extra innings, and we just didn't get it done, and bases loaded with 2 outs, and you give up the freaking grand slam, and I mean, it really didn't matter. 1 run beats you just as good as 4. But actually, I don't understand that. That's a good rule for. I don't understand. Once that run crosses that first run, shouldn't the game be over? How do those other 3 runs even count? And I understand what's a grand slam.
I guess it's just the fact that he hit a home run. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
he'll have 3 less RBIs because
right. But once that run crosses that plate, that first run from third, it's over. The game's over. So I don't know how bottom of the 9th grand slam those other 3 runs count. But anyway, neither here nor there, or bottom of the 9th, those extra innings, same difference. But anyway, it was. I thought we played the better baseball game overall Friday night. I think Coastal was fortunate to tie it, but once they got it tied, they had all the momentum and they got super aggressive and on the base pads and they took advantage of any opportunity they had and got the W. And it is what it is. And JR can break it down more from a statistical standpoint about Friday night's game. But JR, what did you see Friday night? The Pirates take the lead. What was that in the top of the 8th, and then we just can't hang on to the lead. They come back and tie it up, and yeah. To talk about what you saw Friday night.
Is he there?
JR, we can't hear you if you're talking. You're not muted. So.
Hey, my bad. No, man, don't. I'm telling you, I'm sure there's somebody listening that can relate to this. I went on Warren Nolan. No, I went on Warren Nolan to look up RPI, but that thing, that website, I normally don't go to because it's like a virus,
Yeah,
and it completely shut me down. So I had to close everything out. I had to close all my windows out and restart. So.
So what did you think about Friday night, JR? We the 8th, the Pirates tied up in the top of the 8th. Take the lead rather than top of the 8th. Coastal comes back, ties it up, and sends it the extra.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. We had the lead, and then they came back and got 2 to tie it up. And I was saying that second run, the game tying run, probably should have never have happened. And I thought Norby pitched well. I mean, he did give up. One of his runs was unearned. So he gave up three earned runs in 6 innings. And the fact that he went 6 innings and did it in under 100 pitches is a good sign. But, sometimes I've said this before, he does throw a lot of strikes, but sometimes he gets too much of the plate. And, the other team takes advantage of it and hits him kind of hard. But I thought he persevered pretty well. And, some people were saying, hey, we should move Norby, let GVK pitch Fridays. But I don't think you want to do that because GVK is pitching extremely well on Saturdays. And I just don't think you want to mess with that. I don't think you want to try to move him to Fridays. It's a whole different preparation. And I just think we should leave things the way we are. He's Ethan Norby. He'll be fine. It is, Kyle, you're right. We're at the point where it's no longer early, but I think when crunch time comes, which it's here now, we're in crunch time. I have confidence in Norby to be our Friday guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you can I know we've talked about this, Kyle, with different sports, obviously on the Sports Objective, but please, for the love of God, do not overthink and start trying to. They're not doing that. I'm just saying that you don't want to overthink where you've got the right three guys.
No, I don't think the pitching rotation is a problem. I would change around our batting order some.
Well, he did that. Cliff, by the way, Cliff has taken some criticism for his post-game interviews, and rightly so sometimes. And I've even criticized him when he, I think he goes after the fans sometimes too hard. I thought his interview by Coach O Friday night after that tough loss, I thought he was outstanding. It was an outstanding interview. He told us what he was going to do. He took responsibility. And then Saturday, he did the same thing. And he said, we're going to find a way to get more runs. And he changed that. Today's lineup was completely different.
I didn't watch today's game.
It was completely different than it's been.
Good.
And,
that might have been the reason we were so alive. I mean, we got a lot of hits today.
Well, I'll tell you another thing, guys, that I noticed is first, I had to go to work today. So the first few innings I listened to on the radio. But anyway, the wind was blowing out big time today, and that really that was not a big factor, but it did help.
Well, yeah, to left field, it was a jet stream.
Yeah, all you had to do is get a good hit that ball in the sweet spot of the bat, and it was taken off.
No doubt.
Yeah, I didn't. And unfortunately today, and I'm glad to hear we played well, put up 10 runs. JR, you did get that right. You said we would score 10 runs in one game. I unfortunately today, well, somewhat fortunately, some of it was intentional. I didn't feel like watching the game. I was aggravated, but also I was busy. My sister came over and we were doing some other things. But I'm glad to see we played well. We need to get hot. You win today. I'd love to go 5-0 this week, and I guess that goes without saying. You always want to go undefeated on the week, but. I haven't kept up with PN, ODU, or William and Mary. I know William and Mary generally is not very good. PN is an Ivy League team. ODU, what are they looking like this year, guys? They have been good some years.
I think they're right around 500, aren't they?
Well, the thing with these teams that we're about to play is we're not going to – here's the problem is you're not going to get a lot of credit by beating these teams, especially since we have, 1, 2, 3, 4 games at home. But if you lose any of these games, it's like a killer on your record. So we really do have to win 6 of them. Losing, even if we lose on the road and it's to William and Mary, that's not going to be good. So we have to try to win as many of these 6 games as we can. Before I got my screen was locked up on Warren Nolan.
What is the 6th game you're speaking of?
Well, we play 5 games in 1 week.
Right.
Yeah. The 6th game would be, you're right. That'd be UAB. Never mind. That's UAB. That's the start of the series.
Do we not have a midweek game next week?
I'll have to. Hold on.
I have literally have to pull up everything again because of my.
You were saying 6 games.
Yeah, Elon's the 6th game. We're playing Elon at home. So again, that's the 6th game. And
there you go.
So we got 5 at home against opponents that are considered probably quad 4 teams, and 1 road game with another quad 4 team. So
yeah, William and Mary, by the way, is so you were asking Kyle about the teams. ODU is 8-6, and William and Mary is 5-8. They've lost 4 straight, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't think ODU would be quad 4, JR. 8-6, you're talking about a Sun Belt team. Just playing in the Sun Belt, if you have a winning record, is going to keep you from being quad 4.
Well, it depends on what their RPI is. That's what it's based on. And
by
now,
the end of the year, the conference play is going to bring them up.
And by the way, guys, just checking Penn's schedule and their record, they are 2-7.
Yeah, we got to switch.
And on obviously they play a lot of away games this time of year. They're 0-6 in away games. 0-6. So yeah, what we've got to do is we're going to have that crowd. We'll be rocking with the jungle. We'll have that. We've got to. Another thing I was going to ask you guys about is it seems like in the past with this is one of my questions for the panel with you guys, to throw it around, kick it around, is a lot of times in the past the fans have criticized Cliff for the players taking a lot of pitches, but also I noticed this weekend, like I was talking about, and that's part of it's pitching, but then we're popping a lot. We've got a lot of that. We gave them a lot of easy outs, and the pitcher wasn't having to pitch a lot of pitches because of swinging early. So I don't know, like the swinging on the first pitch. So I don't know what the right recipe is for that.
Today was the first day that it looked like they were in a groove, really from the beginning, and they answered back after Coastal had scored a couple of, 3 runs, I believe it was. So you definitely saw a spark. Alex Boucher just came in and was productive again today. So hopefully today, somebody mentioned earlier, is the beginning of, turning the corner and really getting hot. Hope so.
We had, I was just going to say, Kyle, we really scored 12 runs today. We legitimately scored 12 runs. We earned 12 runs. The problem is Coastal never were able to bat in the bottom of the 7th. So they took what we did in the top of the 7th and they completely erased it from history. So Braden Burris, he had a single and scored a run. Matt Lashley had a single and scored a run. Grady Linehan had a sacrifice RBI, and AI had a single with an RBI, and all that stuff got wiped off. If you include that, and we really did have those at bats. We batted .515 today.
Wow.
We batted .515 today as a team. So the new batting order, I suspect we're going to probably see it again.
And by the way, guys, that is I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe today is the first time we have ever beaten Coastal Carolina in Conway.
Well, I know we lost 5 in a row in Conway. 1, 2,
I don't think we've ever beaten Coastal in Conway.
Well, we have now.
Until today. So
it's on the record now.
So that's got that monkey off her back.
Shell says, hello, gents from the Queen City. Jeff Carl and I were talking about ECU this weekend, a lot about ECU this weekend. He has a great perspective on football and glad to see us trending in the right direction. And speaking of which, football is very aggressive, definitely compared to what we had before Blake Harrell. Kenny says, by the way, guys, when our bats go cold, they go frigid. And he says, good 2-out hitting today. Yeah, today was I was going to talk about that too. Thank you, Kenny, for bringing that up. That's why we have the best listeners and viewers ever. The 2-out hitting was the best we've had all year. It feels like to me. I don't know, but it was definitely clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the game today, but just based on the amount of runs we put up, it sounds like it. I mean, we didn't hit the ball bad. We didn't hit the ball bad Friday. Honestly, we just
the third inning. We had 2 runs in the second, so we scored 6 runs in the third, and they were all on 2 outs.
That's good. I mean, Cliff Godwin has made that a big part of this program over the years, as being a good 2-out team. That that's when 60% of your baseball is still left to be played or whatever, and or whatever. What does he say, JR? What's that saying he always talks about with 2 outs?
Cliff saying? I don't know.
Yes.
With 2 outs.
Somebody help me out here.
Somebody help him.
I figure y'all would know.
He's always emphasized 2-out hitting. You still got ever.
Yeah, he said something to some percentage he talks about. I thought JR would surely know this. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That is a big part of what Cliff Godwin talks about, is the importance of 2-out hitting, and it's something he's built the program on. So that is glad to hear we did that well today.
Yeah, and we got our leadoff guy on, in 3 of the 6 innings too, which is something we've been struggling with as well. So that's, once you get the leadoff guy in, and we're letting their leadoff guy got on a ton over the 3-game weekends, and we weren't really doing it, but we started doing it today, and that's how you get runs.
No doubt, and
that go Pittsburgh.
John Delphia.
We took care of that. Either he thinks we're talking about a Pittsburgh Pirates podcast, or
Is that a Admiral Is that the Hampton Admirals?
or if you're trying to talk football smack from the bowl game.
Is this JJ Kinchen's crew coming in here?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, welcome. I hope
Welcome. We'll put out the red carpet for you.
Yeah, come on in. Water's fine.
We've got a place at the table for you.
What Pittsburgh are you referencing? The Pittsburgh Pirates, Pitt Panthers, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, the Steelers, you're okay.
Penguins, yeah, could be the Penguins. Bruno Santamartino, perhaps.
That's right. Dave Parker, Kent DeColvey, Barry Bonds,
Willie Stargell.
There you go, Pops.
Bobby Bonilla.
He's still getting paid by the Mets.
Manny Sanguillen.
Doug Drabeck.
Oh,
okay.
Andy Van Slyke.
Oh, that was my next one. Now, if we start talking Steeler football players, and y'all would just have to sit there.
I got Ben Roethlisberger, and I'm done.
I did see one of the Paul brothers challenging NFL players to boxing matches, saying they couldn't do it, and the former Steeler Le'Veon Bell said, "I'll take that challenge." And now it's Logan Paul, Kyle. I guess he's going to box too, but WWE
because Jake Paul got his ass kicked.
Yeah, because Jake Paul still ain't able to eat solid foods yet. But he was given all these rules about that he had to have if he was going to box one of them. Now all of a sudden, but now he's saying that WWE came out and said you cannot be boxing and be signed with WWE under your contract. So.
Yeah,
you
telling me TKO wouldn't book that? It wouldn't book that as a.
I was getting ready to say TKO. That's money there. So. I think he got scared. He got scared.
I'm sure he did.
Well, anyway, I mean, you think about some of those football players.
You've had football players box before. What was it? Was it Harvey Martin back in the day?
Too Tall Jones.
Too Tall Jones. Yeah, one of that. Yeah, Too Tall Jones was a boxer.
Yep.
And you also
Mark Gastineau. He did it for a while.
Oh yeah,
it didn't turn out so well, but he did it.
Yeah.
And what about like with mixed martial arts? There's a lot of guys that are doing MMA. They're a lot of doing that, like after their football career.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, Too Tall had 7 or 8 professional fights.
Yeah, I remember when he did that. That was after he retired too, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think so.
I can't believe Tom Landry let him.
I think he temporarily left the NFL.
I think you're right.
I'm challenging Alan Vick to a boxing match right now.
All right, come on, man.
He never lost, did he, Alan?
Alan, Alan's going to lose when we and him play.
Yeah, Alan's got an unblemished record right now.
Yeah,
I will take my good leg off and beat you with it all day long.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will wear an eye patch over my good eye and fight you with just my bad eye and still beat your ass. So how about that?
I don't see what you're saying there. So.
Well, neither will I. But you'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll feel the hammer coming down.
Oh my God.
Dave, is there some legal advice about violence during the sports objective that we can?
Yeah,
it's going to be Kyle and Allen crip fight. Sign up now. That'd be great.
I'm sure my inbox is just like exploding right now. The legal team, the suits down the hall, they're.
The winner of the fight between me and Allen gets a handicap placard.
That's right. Framed.
That's right. Framed handicap placard.
Framed handicap placard.
Well, is this pay-per-view, PPV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could get some buys.
We can just live stream it right here on StreamYard.
If Kyle bites, it'll be a paper chew.
Oh.
Paper chew. There you go. That's true. That's true. And I might do like Mike Tyson and bite you on the ear.
That's right.
Well, I hope it's on the ear, but
as opposed to where?
If I said Kyle bite
What are you implying, Dave?
What about Florida here?
Your mind went there, here, there, and everywhere. I just said, I hope it's not the year. That's all I.
I know you said you hope it is the year.
It is the year because you have other places that might not.
Like where?
You're a gentleman.
Jeez.
Gee, why would you go there, Dave? I don't know about the activities you and Alan normally do, but I'm talking about boxing.
Hey. I can promise it's strictly platonic.
Speaking of boxing, with wrestling there, Stevie.
Yes.
Stevie, have you ever seen Liv Morgan box? No, I'm sorry. Let me ask that question again. No, that's not. I asked the question wrong. Have you ever seen Liv Morgan wrestle?
Of course, yeah.
I'd love to see her box.
All right, moving right along. Well, we'll be here all week, or maybe not. We might. The suits are telling me we may not make it through the broadcast.
Does everybody get that joke? Do you get it? I can repeat it if you didn't get it.
I got it.
I got it.
Ready to go to Saturday?
I love how I screwed it up at the beginning.
It's a great anatomy joke.
Yeah, he messed it up to start with.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my goodness! So, are you guys done with game one? Do you want to go to game two?
Let's go to game
go
two.
with the series.
No, because game two, Kyle. And truth be told, I've been a bit distracted because I've been working on something. I'm accepting Kyle's challenge.
You got something big coming, JR? You're
I'm accepting Kyle's challenge because I want to talk about.
If you want to go, JR, we can go.
I want to talk about what happened Saturday night, last night.
Okay.
Rage wrestling.
No, all right. So Gavin Van Kempen took the hill last night. Fastball popping, everything tight. Batters swinging through the air. 7 innings, they had no prayer. Curveball snapping, slider had bite. Dugout buzzing with every strike. Scoreboard glowing, zeros all game. Van Kempen dealing, remember his name.
It's Johnny Kumo D up here.
There you go.
Did you get AI to write that, or did you do that yourself?
Oh, that's what I've been doing.
You were coming up with that rap. There you go. That's good.
Go on.
It was spectacular, though. It was a performance worthy of a rap because it was.
You want to lay the tracks down again, and I'll beatbox in the background.
That's Meister J.
We'll do that off air when we won't put anyone through that for a second time.
We still haven't debuted the Sports Objective shuffle over here yet. You know that.
Oh yeah,
we can do the Sports Objective shuffle.
It's out there. It's ready to be unleashed on the public. I mean,
we might need to put a leash on it.
It's going to be unleashed soon. And everybody's going to be up there dancing like the Chicago Bears.
I'm going to do it like it's the Wrestle Rock Shuffle.
Oh. Rage, Greg Onion, I'm in a rage.
Oh, my God.
Me and Stevie get that. Nobody else does. Anyway, JR, we're cutting JR. My name is Scott Hall, and I'm Curtis. And my wiener's poking out through my shorts here. Go watch that video of Wrestle Rock and look at Scott Steiner's shorts.
Look, no offense to JR, but the performance JR put on right then is 10 times or to 100 times better than the AWA Wrestle Rock rap.
It's horrible. It's the best part of that whole video is when Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig get out of the pool and Scott Hall's wiener is about to fuck out there.
You know, the worst one up there is the Sheik.
Oh, why would the Sheik wouldn't rap? That's idiotic. Why would they have?
That's not the Iron Sheik. That's the
Detroit Sheik. The Detroit Sheik. Yes. Why would they have him rapping? He never even talked.
They were desperate, dude, and he did. I mean, on that thing, I don't even know if they put the beat down at the same time these guys rapped. Because they were, some of them were so off.
Well, some of it wouldn't have mattered.
No. He's like, Greg Onion, I'm in a rage.
Yeah. But anyway, nobody knows what we're talking about, Steve.
Right.
JR, what were you? After your rap, give the rest of your critique of Saturday.
Yeah, let's hear from JR again.
All right. So, I know we lost 7-1, but It was a game that was much closer than that. It was tied going into the 8th inning. When Gavin Van Kempen exited the game after 7 innings, it was 1-1. And then the 8th inning was not kind to our pitchers, specifically Brett Antolik. But all pitchers have games like that, and it just wasn't. He just didn't have it, and they've scored 6 runs on us. Only 2 of them were earned, by the way, because there were some errors involved at second base, and there were some runs that should not have ever scored. So it's not all on Brett, but it was an ugly bottom of the 8th, and that made the score much more lopsided than it should have been. Like I said, it was 1-1 through, going into the bottom of the 8th. So yeah, we took the L, but we competed, we played well. So we went on to Sunday
again, Jared.
Yeah, I think right now, obviously, we just wrapped up Saturday's game, but I think we need to go back to Stevie.
What do you got, Stevie?
I'm still thinking about that stupid rap song. Not yours, Johnny, but the other one. I can't stop laughing. That's why I'm muting
The
my
Wrestling
mic.
Rock Rumble. Stevie messaged me, so I'm not going to be able to stop laughing the rest of the night because he's thinking about the
God.
Wrestling Rock.
But look, when I get one of these things in my head, it's hard for me to stop laughing. It's stupid.
I would have never brought it up.
You did bring it up.
I know. I would have never brought it up. I know it's going to tickle you that damn much. Has anybody else ever seen the AWA Wrestle Rock Rumble rap video?
No, I'm going to be viewing it when the show's over.
We'll send it in the group. It is.
Yes,
it is.
It's horrible.
It is. It was the one pay-per-view the AWA ever did back in the 80s. What was it, 88, 89? And
I was before that. Yeah.
Okay, so was it even a pay-per-view?
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know if it was actual pay-per-view.
It was a big event.
It was their big event like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They called it Wrestle Rock.
I think they only had one true pay-per-view, I thought that was when Lawler beat Kerry Von Erich for the unified title. Super Clash, yeah.
Did it have Buck Rock and Roll Zoomhoff on the?
Good Lord! Don't bring that guy's name up.
It has Greg Gagne. It has.
He's in a rage.
He's in a rage. Exactly. It has Kurt Hennig. It has Scott Hall. It has Marty and Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, the Midnight Rockers.
The Midnight Rockers.
It has who else? The Sheik.
How about Bockwinkel?
Yes, Nick Bockwinkel.
Bockwinkel was up there too. Yes. And he has he should
no rhythm. No rhythm at all.
No.
No concept of what rap is, or as you wouldn't expect Nick Bockwinkel to have.
I mean, half of these guys don't have, Jannetty and Michael, yeah.
Hall and Henning.
Gagne's got the rhythm of it, but it's just the way he comes off of it because he's like yelling like a little girl in it. I'm in a rage.
Yeah, and then his dad,
Vern. Oh god.
Vern, I'm going to step back in the ring. I'm 150 and do the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
He does it twice. He has 2 lines and 2 verses in it. So
yeah, the best part is Stevie. You pointed out the Sheik, who really never even talked most of his career. He was the madman. He threw fire at people, and people were legitimately scared of the Sheik, not the Iron Sheik, but the original Sheik in the 70s and early 80s. And here we are in the late 80s, and he's rapping. That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he owned a promotion for a long time.
Detroit.
Yeah, the Detroit territory. Yes.
Yeah.
For $20, does anybody know the Sheik's real name?
No chance.
Stevie?
Oh, I thought JR would know it. No, I don't have a clue. Is it Ed something, Kyle?
Good job, Ed Farhat.
Yeah, I thought Ed.
I never knew his name until tonight. I never knew his real name.
Can you tell me his 2 proteges?
Sabu.
Yep. White guy. Think of Michigan. He's from Sheik's from Detroit.
Yeah, I can't think of the second
Rick
one.
Stunner. Scott
Rick.
Stunner.
Oh,
no. Good. It makes sense though. Think of somebody associated with Sabu.
Van Dam?
Yep, RVD was trained by the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you go. Ron Van Dam.
And now Monday Night Raw is over for the sports objectives. Sunday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw in the 80s, or excuse me, the 90s, early 2000s, ECW, whole conglomeration of stuff we just threw out at people, and AWA coverage.
Yeah. How many? Let's get a poll. Let's get a poll of the viewers and listeners. How many of you actually have watched wrestling or care about wrestling? I'm just out of curiosity.
No sense in not making this. Oh, that was okay. Yeah, it was from the Sports Objective. How many? I would guarantee that the majority of the listeners have watched wrestling at some point.
Who likes
Absolutely. It? Yeah. I mean, our generation, all of us at some point or time were huge wrestling fans for the most part. Maybe
Not
JR, maybe not as much.
No, I'm absolutely engaged in wrestling. Not recently, but yeah, 20 years ago, definitely.
Yeah.
What about and Bubba is not a big wrestling fan.
No, Bubba. I remember the first time I came on here, and we talked about me and Dave and Kyle were talking about wrestling. And Bubba just went quiet for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and for all our listeners out there, we're just having fun with this. We're covering Pirate baseball.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear us talk wrestling, we won't. And in the older days, yes, that's primarily what we're talking about. But I think me and Stevie have a fondness for wrestling because of the older days that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah. Florida Championship Wrestling. I know.
There you go. Yeah, Gordon Sully.
Yeah.
With the souffle.
Eddie Graham.
Eddie Graham, yeah.
Yep.
Promotion.
Are you guys are you done with Saturday, or do you want to move to Sunday today's game?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right. Today actually started out good. We got 2 runs, right, JR, in the second inning, and obviously the third inning is pretty much that was the inning where we had 2 out hittings. We got 2 out hitting. We got 6 runs in the third, but those 2 innings, when I was driving home, I was so excited because I was like, can we just beat Coastal? Because I felt like all 3 games we could have, should have, and didn't. And the other thing, one question I have, and we'll get JR to give the stats, but did you guys feel like today, like, here we go again? Because, they're coming back, or if they started to come back, like, would the Pirates fall apart late in the, like game 3?
We responded today.
Yeah.
When they scored 3 runs, we immediately scored a couple runs to stretch the deficit back out. So we responded. So yeah, I kind of had that feeling, when they scored the 3 runs, I was like, uh-oh, but we responded today and did what we should have done. So.
Because then just like the final score, we got 2 extra runs. Is that the 6th inning, Johnny? I think, but we got a couple extra runs, and all of a sudden we put insurance up there, and it was 10-4.
It was the 7th that never happened, though. That's the thing. We had 2 runs in the 5th. Right. Are you talking about the 2 we put up in the 5th?
5th inning. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In the 5th inning, and yeah, you're right. The 7th inning.
Well, I'll just say this: like I mentioned earlier, Cliff, he changed the batting order around considerably. A lot of people wanted Matt Lashley to be moved up in the lineup, and he put him in the 2 hole. It paid off. Then he moved Jack down to the 5, and he put Alex Boucher in as the DH. Put Sabater in left field. Him and Davin split left field, and had Colby and Walker Barron 8-9, which is kind of normal. They get good production out of those 2 in that spot. So he must be a genius, because every single batting position, like 1 through 9, all had at least 1 hit. And then we had 4 guys with multiple hits, including Walker Barron, who was 3 for 4, and Colby was 2 for 3. So the bottom 8-9 spots were 5 of 7. And, at the top of the lineup was good too. I hope he found something. Sabater was 2 for 4 for the weekend. So there's a little bit of consistency there. So we'll see if he's going to be out and left all the time. I think Vogeley will be out there. Davin. I think we'll see, a bunch of different people in left field. But I think this batting order will probably, pretty much stay the way it is.
Well, he had to do something to shake something up, and I mean, he had to make some changes. And we'll see how well it worked. We got, Tuesday. I think we'll find out pretty quick.
Yeah, I was going to give credit though to Colby Wallace and Matt Lashley. Were the only two that had a hit in each of the 3 games, or had at least one hit in each of the 3 games. So, Colby's starting to turn it around a bit. He was 4 for 10. He had 3 runs, 3 RBIs. So, I think I think Colby's just making better contact. If you'll notice, the ball's coming off of his bat much better. He's getting more barrel on it. Even when he makes an out, it's good contact. So, I'm thinking that maybe, with Coach Gautreau working with him constantly, we know what we have there, and I'm thinking that we're starting to, see some results, and hopefully going forward, it'll continue.
Yeah, I think it will. I think, and you guys know also it depends on matchups with pitching and different things on how you do that. But you're right. We did much better. Johnny, one stat that I heard today, but remind me, runners in scoring position, we were really good today.
We were good with everything today. When you bat, what did I say, 515? When you're batting 515, every one of your offensive statistics is going to be good. So,
no doubt about it.
There you go. That's what happens.
Did you guys watch on TV the same usher, the gentleman that's in the screen at Coastal with the gray hair and the mustache? He was the same usher during the regional last year. I mean, you saw him like 50 times a game. He stands there, stone-faced, never moves, never changes his facial expressions at all. If you could have the shot behind home plate, he's standing there every time. Same guy, never moved.
What, he whistled or something. I
don't know.
They got the attractive bat girls in Conway for Coastal as well.
Yeah, that was mentioned.
I should have noticed that. I didn't. But it's good to hear. I like that policy.
Yeah. Hey, I'd also like to, in addition to our offense exploding today, I was tired of seeing Colby Thorndike on the base path, and he didn't get there today. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Something about him. He's been a thorn in our side for the last several, encounters with Coastal in the regionals and here. So, we shut him down today, which was, I like that. But we never did shut down Rex Watson. He had 3 home runs, including a grand slam.
He had, hey, Johnny, check this out. He had, going into our series, this is what really hurts. He had 3 RBIs. And then
he had 10.
He had 10 for Friday and Saturday, right?
I think 10 total.
Today.
Yeah.
Today, but 10 RBIs, and he only had 3 for the whole season up until our series, and he gets 10 in a couple days.
Yeah. I won't miss seeing him in the batter's box, that's for sure. And Walker Mitchell was, again, today we shut him down too, but Walker Mitchell had our number there too in games 1 and 2. So, oh well. So, and after this weekend, we win 1 of 3. Nobody wanted that. Everybody wanted, 2 wins, but our RPI went up 25 spots. We were 115 and now we're 90. And I know I keep saying RBI doesn't matter, but I did say last week it's going to start to matter. Every weekend series we play, it becomes more and more relevant. And we're getting very close to the point where you need to start paying attention to that number. And we moved up, like I said, 25 spots with the week we had. So, that's, that shows you how RPI works. You win 1 on the road against a team that good, and you get a lot of credit for it.
Absolutely. That's why Cliff and Jeff Palumbo and company do a great job with the scheduling, because we definitely don't want to have a whole bunch of cupcakes on the schedule, and then you wonder why. I've talked about that a couple of times this season. And then when you're outside looking in on playing in a regional. So I think we're going to be fine. I really do. I'm not worried at all about this team. I think the pitching overall has been very good, and the bats have their moments. We just got to be consistent with the bats, stating obvious, but we'll see how this week we've got to really go out. Kyle said it earlier in the show. We got to go out and dominate, and I feel like we will. ODU is Tuesday, and then William and Mary on the road on Wednesday. I can't wait to the day I'm retired where we can just get in the car and go and watch a ball game.
Yeah, it would be nice. I can't go to every game, but I do try to watch every game or listen to every game when I can.
Yeah. I'll definitely be there for the Pennsylvania series, but I'm trying to go to William and Mary too on Wednesday if I can get some stuff taken care of. Yeah. I'll be going to William and Mary on Wednesday. I've been to William and Mary many, many times, but I've never seen the Pirates play there.
This is a very important week. I mean, we talk about, these teams, maybe not the strongest teams, but for the trajectory of the season, this is an extremely important week coming up. Extremely important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'll do very well. And I think, we can talk predictions on it, but 5 games. I mean, you definitely want to go 4-1, and hopefully we can go 5-0. That would be great.
You don't want to have a bad week this week. It would be devastating from an RPI perspective.
Yeah, then you would just have to just concentrate on winning the conference tournament.
Yeah. So we need to, 4-1 minimal this week, and just 5-0 would be better.
Yeah, I'm going to include that. I say we should take it to 6 games, include the last 6 games before we start conference play. And I think 5-1 is the worst we can do. I think we almost have to go 6-0. But if we're going to lose one, I mean, Kyle, these are not good teams.
Yeah, I know, but you can make up ground. It's too early. If you lose 2, and then you go get red hot, you can make up ground, but you don't want to do that. We definitely need to handle business.
Yeah, I don't foresee us losing 2.
I don't either.
Hopefully. No, I know. So here I'm talking nonsense with the RPI at this point, but let's go a step further. So they're predicting the Pirates the rest of their season, game by game. I had predicted results. They're saying the Pirates are about to begin an 11-game winning streak.
I'll take
according to Warren Nolan RPI, they're saying that we're going to win 11 in a row starting Tuesday.
That's definitely doable, actually.
Sure it is. I mean, we won it was a couple seasons ago. We won 1,000 in a row.
Then we won 23 because it was like Keith LeClaire.
Yeah. Everybody thought we were going to. We went from being a bubble team to hosting. It was overnight. So.
Oh, Kenny's saying 22. Okay. Well, anyway, I knew it was over 20, and I
thought it was 23 also.
Yeah, because it was something. Well,
that's when we played Texas.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yep. Yeah, that's when we went on the streak. Then we hosted.
Oh,
we had Coastal.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
And Virginia.
You're right. Yep.
And a MEAC team. Yeah.
We won that first game, and we're in complete control of the second game on Saturday.
Yeah. And
do we have to rehash that?
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Alan. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I can still picture the home run where JJC jumps up, and he just misplayed the ball, and it would have been an out, and that it was all downhill after that.
Yeah, I do have Alan. This you might find this interesting is that it's been bothering me for a long time because one play turned game 2. I truly believe we win game 2 if this one play doesn't happen.
The play I was just talking about?
Texas. This is Texas, game 2.
Yeah, where JJC misplays the ball.
Nah, even it was when their guy Staley was on first base. On second base, and there were 2 out. And the next batter hit a grounder to third base, and Amac picked up the ball, and then the runner going from second to third just stopped in the base path and raised his arms and started dancing. And so Amac had to throw the ball higher than he wanted to, and it went over Moylan's head.
I remember that.
And if that play never happens, we win that game. And so it just so happens that Amac sits in front of me for basketball sometimes. And I flat out asked him about that play. And I told him it still bothers me to this day. And he said, dude, get over it. It was, it's baseball. And I said, well, shouldn't they have called interference on him? He said, nah, you can be creative in your base running. You really got to go over the edge to be, to get that call. And he said, it was okay with me. So you should quit worrying about it.
I always think about the home run JJC gave up, or it was a home run. What the hell happened? Or was it off the wall? He misplayed the ball.
Yeah, that was the play that I remember that really, really turned just things unraveled.
Wasn't there a pitching change in the middle of Saturday's game when we were up? That I don't remember the circumstances, but it didn't work. Whatever, we changed pitchers and things.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to mention his name though, but yeah, because I'm sure he feels awful, and his mom is still very active in the Pirate chats.
I didn't want to mention the name either.
And I don't want to mention his name, but that's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for us too, and but that is what happened. You remember correctly.
Yeah, just wild. It's just wild to think about, how close we were, but maybe we can rectify all that this year and take care of business and do what we got to do and finally get where we need to be.
Yeah, and I will say this without mentioning that young man's name. Do you remember the pitcher we took out to put him in?
Savage, right?
Yeah, Trey Savage.
Yeah.
Because he was, man, that was that series, the regional and the super regional. I'm like, wow, this guy's special. And I really never, how people always hype up people, oh man, this pitcher is great and all blah, blah, blah. But man, that Texas super regional, he was really good.
Yeah. And Trey the Jungle Savage.
Let me get that fixed for you, Mr. Allen. If I can.
Oh, we got Matt Menza here. Matt Menza's here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, good's debatable. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
What's happening? How you guys doing?
Good.
We're good. We're trying.
Matt, did you want to talk about the AWA Wrestle Rock Shuffle there?
No, hold on, Kyle. I think we know why Matt's here. Matt's here to lay down some raps for us. Is that right, Matt?
Some raps?
Matty
Ice. You've been rapping tonight, Matty Ice. Go hit it.
His stage name is Matty Ice.
My name is Matt Simmons, and I'm in a rage.
What's going on, fellas? I would talk wrestling, but I don't want to make Steve feel bad about his knowledge, so I'll hold back for now.
I got you, bud. I got you.
Right, yeah. First of all, we're going to talk about Pirate stuff, but I did have. This is something that we've talked about Coastal Carolina, and this was a subject they brought up. I heard sports radio talk about it. But have you guys heard about the fan-friendly pricing at the St. Louis Cardinals games?
No. Yeah, I saw that. $29.
$29 gets you access to bottomless concessions and drinks for the 26th season. Not one game or two, but they're talking about like ballpark snacks like peanuts, soft drinks.
Yeah, we can't do that at East Carolina, and it's kind of like we need all the. Now, I do think we need to come down on our prices, but we need all the revenue we can get, and so we can't be giving away food.
It's bad enough.
But we do need some reasonable prices. I do wish we had more reasonable.
I agree. Is that really a reasonable price though? If you have a family of four, would it be $116? And then
for unlimited for the season? Yes, that's not.
For the season?
No, it's
yes.
That's for one game.
No, I think it's one game.
It's one game.
Yeah, it's not really that big of a bargain.
Wait a minute. One game for $29?
Yeah.
Think about it from this perspective.
I don't think it's a great bargain.
It is.
I mean, if you're going to eat and drink a lot, it is. If not, then it's not. I mean, it's. I guess it depends on the person.
Think about it from this perspective, right? Let's say you go to a Yankees game, for example, Red Sox game.
Does it include beer?
No,
it doesn't include beer. But let's just say you go to a game, right? Let's say you get, a hot dog, a hamburger, a pretzel, you get a few, even a water. I think a water is like $8. You're very easily over that $30 mark. And
You talking
now,
about for one person?
yeah, easily,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
easily.
mean, who the hell eats a hot dog, a hamburger, a pretzel, and who needs all that in one game?
Well,
Never
you know what's
know.
going to go on? I have a prediction. If they do that, I guess they are going to do it. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but there's going to be people that'll do that, and then they'll just like turn it into they'll share it with 2 or 3 other people.
Sure, that's
And then it's a good
exactly.
deal. Then it becomes a very good deal.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do?
think-
Walk around and make sure you have the wristband on as you're eating your hot dog? I mean, I
Well, all
don't
they got to do is the woman with the wristband to order all the food and the drink.
exactly. That's what Jr. was saying. I mean,
And if you don't, I mean, if they say something, it's like, I got a heck of appetite.
yeah, or just keep going back. I don't know. Like when I go to Bird Dog, I don't eat. If football games, I can tell you what I do. Depending on the
Bird dogging.
kickoff, depending on what time kickoff is for ECU football, I'll get there and grab a brat or maybe 2 hot dogs, a brat, and some popcorn or whatever. And then I don't go a lot of ECU baseball games because I need to sit in the stands. I'm not going to sit in the jungle, and the tickets are sold out, and also bottom secondary market. So when I go to Bird Dog games, I typically get a cheesesteak, order a cheese curds, and a couple beers. So it might be worth it for me at Bird Dog games.
So John Gilbert said on Holton Oiler's show that on Pirate Radio, they're
Yeah.
selling season tickets for the Upper Deck this year for $75.
Correct. Not for the entire Upper Deck. I think that's just a portion of the Upper Deck.
It's,
The economy plan, $75, which is the cheapest we've done it, at least that I can remember. That's a phenomenal deal.
Yeah.
In this day and age, look, my 2 season tickets I just bought with and everything. Okay, all right.
What's going on?
It's the ghost of the AWA Wrestle Rock Rap coming back, Kyle.
Yeah. So my season tickets with my parking pass that I never use, it's like $690. So yeah, 2 season tickets in the Upper Deck for $75 a piece, or 1 season ticket. But you figure most people are going to buy 2 at least. $150. I mean, that's great. So what we got here?
Oh, what a night! I don't know what happened. Hold on.
Why are we playing What a Night? Somebody mute yourself. You're going to get us copyright infringed.
I was muted when that was going on. It wasn't me.
Dave, is that you?
Yeah, I hit my hand.
All right, then I'm going to play the AWA Wrestle Rock Rap.
Yeah.
I want to hear some flock of seagulls.
Yeah, if we play too much music like that, we'll get copyrighted on Facebook. But
yeah, I wasn't trying to play that's a bumper Facebook. I was not trying to do that. So
Dave had premature musical whatever happened there.
well, Matt told me we had to go to break, so I was trying to do some bumper music.
Matt, so you're here for a reason. Why are you here?
Why are you here, Matt?
I'm not sure. I assume we were going to talk maybe a little bit,
basketball,
get into football a little bit or basketball. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, we
definitely
we were talking about season tickets. So Matt, did you have a chance to hear Gilbert with Holton?
No, I didn't listen to it yet. I was a little nervous to listen to it.
It's not bad.
Okay.
There's a couple things that'll get under your skin, but overall, he was pretty transparent. Apparently, he did another interview with Patrick. I haven't listened to that, where he kind of alludes to an upcoming announcement for a home and home we're going to have. It sounds like it's going to be with a regional opponent. So we'll see. But the $75 season tickets for the Upper Deck was something he mentioned. Another thing he mentioned is how we're not number 1 in revenue sharing, but we don't have to be to win the league. We're in the upper third, and you have to be in the upper third to win the league. What else of note did he talk about? Matt, you might find this interesting. He does think there's going to be a breakaway, but he's along the same lines as David Glenn. He thinks it's going to be 40 to 50 teams. And he thinks it's going to be football only. That's going to be at that highest level. And he says if there's not, he said, we will always have access to the playoff. He said, it's never going to be taken away. He doesn't think, which I agree. And I agree with both of those statements that the playoff is not going to be taking away access and there will eventually be a breakaway. I think that has a lot to do with this surge of FCS teams moving up. The Delawares of the world, the North Dakota States,
Sac State just moved up.
Sacramento State. Yeah, exactly. All these schools are moving up because there's access to the playoff and it's not going to go away, and there eventually will be a split at the highest level. And quite frankly, if it is 40 to 50 teams, I encourage it. Go now. That way we can be in the same football league with Wake Forest and Duke.
Yep, I agree. I mean, let's just get it done with at this point. And, I think, really what that would look like, it would be obviously the Big Ten and the SEC, and then some of the outliers in the ACC.
Yep, and a couple from the Big 12. Yep.
Florida States. Yeah, some of the
Clemson,
Big 12.
Yep.
So what would that, we don't need to get into it all right now, I guess, but essentially, as long as we'd still have a shot for the playoff, I mean, that would be, to me, the key factor.
Well, I think he was more talking about if they stay, blah, blah, blah. If things stay the same, we're not going to lose access. But if there's a split with those 40 to 50, then we would lose access to that level. But it wouldn't matter. I mean, at that point, you're talking about the SEC, the Big Ten, a couple from the ACC, a couple from the SEC, and you're talking about a total reshift to college football, and you're talking about probably, Wake Forest, Duke, Pitt, et cetera, some schools like that. We're probably in the same league with them. So it was two different things. He was saying that he doesn't think we'll ever lose access to the playoff, and then he was saying, but he does think there'll eventually be a split with the top 40 to 50 teams. So
here's why I know that it's possible, but I also think that in the back of their mind, it's all about eyeballs, and there's a lot of people that won't watch that level, and they need those. They need those eyeballs.
You know what, Dave? Here's the thing I feel about this. If it's 40 to 50, I'm okay with it. Go ahead, go Michigan. Alabama, go. Because the majority of the teams will still be at this level. If it ends up being every school at the Power 4 level, then I hate it because then we're relegated to FCS. At that point, like I say, we would be in a better situation because we'd end up in the same conference with a lot of current ACC schools. So we would be in a better situation. If it was only 40 to 50, do it tomorrow.
That means NC State, Wake. There's certain schools that would not.
I don't. Virginia Tech. Even somebody like that has a good chance of getting left out. I think from the ACC, I think you'd have the Big Ten, the SEC, probably Clemson, Miami, Florida State,
those three,
UNC, UVA, and then from the Big 12, probably SMU also because they have a ton of money, and then from the Big 12, probably Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. ECU maybe, and that's about maybe West Virginia, and that's about it. I think there's your 50.
I don't see that if they do that route. I think it's like what Matt we talked about before with it's basically the Big Two. I think all the SEC. If you take all the SEC and you take all of the Big Ten, that's a lot of teams right there.
They should kick Rutgers to the curb if they do that.
And that's possible, and that is possible that some of those schools get left out.
Vanderbilt,
Vandy's stepped up.
Yeah, Vandy, you can't do that.
They are, but I know they're better, but I'm just saying.
Plus, their academics is
Vandy's not going to get left out. I do think Duke football will. I don't think this is going to affect basketball and other sports. I think this is going to be a football only thing when it happens. But so the Big Ten's got 18 teams. The SEC's got 16. So that is 30. How many? What is it? 34.
34.
So then you'd have 16 more teams if they went to 50. So it's 40 to 50. Who knows? Like you said, it could be a Rutgers left out. It could be a Northwestern left out. Who knows? I don't think any of the SEC or Big Ten schools will get left out. But the way Gilbert put it, he said the schools with the highest revenue. And he said he thinks it'll end up being 40, maybe as high as 50, maybe.
Well, Matt, you're from up there. Didn't Rutgers announce that they're running a deficit?
Yes.
A major deficit, and it's not just
too, right, Matt?
What's that, Dave?
Didn't I read that UConn also has a massive debt?
UConn's been in massive debt for several years. Rutgers, with their move to the Big Ten, they were so far behind athletically that they had to build out infrastructure. They had to sort of catch up, keep up with the Joneses, and so they accumulated a massive debt. Now, you know what I think is really interesting, fellas, and this is not at all. I won't make this political in any way, but there was I'm not sure if you guys saw this. There was a meeting on Capitol Hill this week with the Nick Sabans of the world were there. Tim Pernetti was there, the commissioner of the American Conference. Had a really interesting conversation about essentially reforming college athletics the way it stands. And, really what it came down to kind of give the quick summary, I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but they don't feel like they're going to get agreement in Congress. So it looks like there's going to be an executive order signed by the end of next week. And they're trying to release some plan. I think it's called the Save College Sports Act, or I don't know. I don't know what the name of it is, but things could start moving. If that does happen, whether we like it or not, there's going to start to be some movement in sports once it gets to that level. And I was happy to see Pernetti there representing the American Conference. He did a good job. But did you guys happen to catch that?
I did.
Yeah.
I think that was on Friday, right, Matt?
It was. Yeah, it was Thursday or Friday. Yep.
I was coming out of Minji's, and I'll remind me, Matt, to talk about the atmosphere Friday night in Williams Arena, Minji's Coliseum, and Alan Vick was there with me too. We'll talk about that. But the reason I remember that story, I was coming out of Williams Arena and Minji's Coliseum. When I was driving home, I heard about it. So I think it was on sports radio or something where I heard it. But
that would do away with the collectives. There would no longer be collectives.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you something.
So everything's going to be straight revenue sharing, 100%.
Correct. I think that would be a part of it. Yep.
Right now, you have like schools like Duke, who they were way ahead on the whole collective thing. They've got a company. There was a Duke graduates. I think it's like Delaware. It's more up Matt's way. I think it's Delaware, but there's a company, and that's all they formed a company like an LLC, and all they do is raise money for it's a fundraising arm, and they were way ahead. That's why with if you look at Duke basketball, different sports, but basketball in particular, the Carolina fans are not to make this anti-Carolina folks or anything, but Carolina fans are very upset. Hubert Davis.
If you do away with the collectives, what's keeping? I guess. If you have a 20 million cap, then I guess that's the answer, and that cap's going to keep going up. But if you have a cap on it, you do away with collectives, then that kind of comes down to who can. It kind of puts recruiting and who can work the portal the best. There'll be no reason to leave Alabama for Ohio State. There would be no reason at that point. If you're going to leave clearly for somebody who's going to give you more revenue. And like in this area, for the Sun Belt schools and the Conference USA schools we compete against, the Liberties, the JMUs, the App States, the Coastals, from a revenue standpoint, it would put us significantly above them if they did that. And I think that would probably be pretty good for East Carolina if that happened, Matt. Actually, I think we would benefit from that because we do have more revenue than most other Group of 5 schools, Group of 6 as it is now. So if that were to happen, I think it would be to our benefit.
Hey guys, help me out. Matt is. I'm sorry, Johnny. I'll just ask.
No. You're good, Dave. You're good.
I was just going to ask this really quick. Matt, isn't our budget around 54 million? It's over 50.
That's right. My understanding is it's right around there. I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to ask you, Matt, did they address portal reform at all? Because that needs to happen as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
That was a huge part of it, JR. And, what they were talking about was sort of getting back to the purpose of collegiate sports, which is, you're trying to get your education, you're trying to get a degree. And they talked a lot about how you have guys that are, essentially in 4 years, 3 or 4 different schools.
Yep.
And there's no way you can keep up academically at that point.
Unless you're Winston Wright. There's very few and far between that can do that.
Exactly. But I'll tell you guys, I do want to.
Not Winston Wright, guys. Help me out. Who am I talking about? Mike Wright. Mike Wright.
Yes. He was. Yeah. But I do want to read it because Nick Saban's involvement with this stuff makes me very nervous, and like a lot of people see him as kind of like the savior. To me, he's kind of a elitist homer for the SEC, and
favorite big dudes.
And I worry if somehow embedded in this bill, if you want to call it, is, are they going to try to raise scholarships to the point where, like, let's say you're an SEC team and now you go to
I'm telling you right now,
that would kill college football.
The approach, and I don't know why we've never taken this approach, we meaning the Group of Five, particularly the American, and the approach that needs to be taken with this in Senate and Congress is this bill is being passed. There needs to be somebody from a Group of Five school in there talking, and the angle we need to pitch. And I've always said this when it goes to Congress and Senate, you gonna tell them boys at Army, you gonna tell them boys at Navy, you gonna tell them boys at Air Force, our fighting men and women at the fine academies of the United States of America. They don't deserve just as much access to making the national championship in the playoffs as them boys in Alabama and them boys at Ohio State and them boys in Michigan. Are you telling me they're good enough to go to West Point? They're good enough to go to Annapolis. They're good enough to serve our country. But they didn't have equal rights to the national championship. Well, by God, that's just not American.
I like it, Kyle.
Agreed. I agree.
Hey, Matt, one another question I had was, did they mention at all the come back to me.
The transfer rule, like having to sit out a year, or they talked about. Is that where you're going, JR?
No, it was okay. That is not where. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to just say that I agree with you as far as Nick Saban is concerned, because the comments that he made about JMU and Tulane, those were egregious. I hope Tim Pernetti brought that to his attention, because I hope he just didn't go down there, and I'm sure he didn't. I hope that he tried to make some inroads for the Group of Six, because those comments from Nick Saban clearly show that he has a huge bias.
Yeah,
Gilbert was very 100%. Confident that we're not going to lose access to the playoff, and I don't think you'd be seeing all these schools moving up that we talked about earlier if that was going to happen.
Yeah, and they've got to keep. Here's the thing, like I said, it's about money, and Nick Saban. Matt, I think that was one of the first things I bonded with you on. I just don't like that guy. He's horrible. He's absolutely horrible on game day. If his name was not Nick Saban, then I know why they have him on there. I get that, but he doesn't bring anything to. I even like.
Agreed. I agree.
I like Pat McAfee. At least he's got some. At least he's got like that.
He's entertaining.
Entertaining.
Coach to your point, Dave, how do you go from Corso, right? Who was like, Corso was like, he was entertaining, he was funny, whether you loved him or hate him. Yeah. And then you kind of bring in Saban, who's like stoic and very little personality. And it's just, I agree. It's not the best fit. I don't think it's the best.
No. But he does know football probably better than anybody on earth. And, I like listening to his, breakdown of the schematics and stuff. But yeah, personality wise, he's not a good fit for that show at all.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy that guys brought up. I don't know if it was back in the fall, but he brought up the fact that how Saban is taking a spot from a broadcaster, somebody that's working their tails off, and because and I was like, that's a great point. These elitists need to stop. College football could be the #1 sport in America, and the reason why it's not is because people like Nick Saban that get in the way. And I understand you love the SEC, and Johnny, I know you love the SEC, But the bottom line is they have no way of with the way that things are going right now is so out of control. I'm glad. I know you're going to be surprised.
Oh, Dave, I need to correct you. Dave, you're correct that I had made that statement before, but only in the context. I only love the SEC in context of the SEC against the Big Ten. When the SEC, like today in baseball, I'm looking at all the SEC scores, hoping that they all lost because I don't root for any SEC baseball team. I don't root for, it's basketball. It's just when they play the Big Ten. If one of those two teams has to win it, I want it to be in the South, not up.
Matt's
No offense, Matt.
Right, Matt?
No, none taken. I get it.
Yeah, but those guys have got to get it together. I'm glad that I know you're going to be surprised to hear me say I'm glad the president had them at the White House because that's something. You know what, fellas, in the divided world we live in right now, not getting political, that's something we can all agree on because, do you know how much? Do you guys? I don't know if I've told this on the show, but do you know how much we make in Greenville on a home game, like economically?
The city?
Yeah, the city of Greenville. I asked Trent McGee, and he told me that he's the Pitt Greenville Chamber president.
Probably 2 million, 3 million.
It used to be 2. You're correct, Kyle. 3 million now. So think about that. The impact on Greenville, North Carolina, but especially if NC State comes.
Well, I think
the more attractive teams. If we are,
they're not going to play us anymore. Well, Gilbert did make that clear. I do think,
he hasn't tried enough. And the other thing is that they will play us if we get elected. We have to, you know what? At this point, when you're representing East Carolina, you need to roll. Hey, Matt, what is it we always talk about? Be aggressive. You need to roll your sleeves back and say, look, we want these games. We did it in the 90s. We're going to have to do it again. I don't want it to be legislatively decided. It should be the schools decided. But when they won't play us, make them play us.
Yeah, I think we do need to try that. I agree with you. I don't think it's as easy. I don't think it's as easy as it was in the 90s, and not because of all the Power 4 bull crap, but because that shouldn't play into legislation. It becomes a little more complicated because of App State and Charlotte. Now, I think what needs probably to happen is NC State. Yeah, we do need to mention Luke Holt's passing away. NC State, UNC, and they tried to do this. They need to do it again. There needs to be an agreement with East Carolina, App, Charlotte, NC State, and UNC to all play each other, and all 5 of the state-funded Division I schools in football. There needs to be an agreement to play each other, and East Carolina and Charlotte is already done. We're the same conference, but App and East Carolina need a long-term series with each other, which is something Gilbert talked about. He wants to get done. Well, then get it done. Charlotte, needs a long-term series with App. NC State and UNC needs to be playing us both, even if it's on a rotating schedule.
That's fine.
Even if we get a home and home with NC State and UNC does a home and home with App, and then Charlotte does a home and home with it. Even if it's like once every 5 years we have a home and home with one of those two, something. I think it needs to be done, and it probably is going to take legislation. But what I was going to say is something else I found interesting that Gilbert said during the interview with Holton. And he didn't say this specifically, but this is how I took it. He was talking about how he thinks college football is still greatly undervalued, and I think he was talking about at the Group of 5 level. I think not so much that the Big Ten and the SEC, because they get enough money from TV. I think he was implying at least this is how I took it, reading between the lines, that he doesn't think a lot of people think the TV contract in the American is probably going to go down at next renewal because of the teams we lost, and I kind of took it as like he doesn't think that it may go up. So we'll see. The numbers were really good this year for the American on TV.
And look at our bowl as far as hey Matt, did you see that? Wasn't our bowl? It was one of the most watched bowls we had.
All the bowl games were up this year. All the bowl rankings were up. It wasn't just ours. It was. Ours did well, but so did a lot of other bowls. Surprisingly, the bowls, right? Because you wouldn't think with all the portal crap and people sitting out of games that bowl games would be up, but the ratings were up this year.
You know what, Kyle? FanDuel. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, people gambling. Yeah, that's a good point, JR.
It could be, and Yeah, I mean it is interesting that all the bowl games were up. You know, attendance. I'm assuming attendance in person is probably down for most of these games. I think you have more and more people staying home. You know, a lot of half-empty stadiums, but hey, viewership goes on TV, which is what drives the money. So,
Yeah, no doubt. And for our bowl game, I think even back-to-back cities the same year, had we not had all the portal issues, we would have sent even more people up there. But I still yesterday I was thinking it was the day before yesterday. I was just getting angry at myself for not going to that game again. But oh well.
It wasn't the same. I didn't have last year. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and there's Kyle and Jessica, everybody. I was
Bubba,
and Matt came. Yep. And this year, I'm just like kids. Like after about an hour, we were there for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, well, we came real close to day tripping it, and I wish we would have, and we'd probably went and grabbed something to eat at least afterwards. But I never will forget not going to that game. But oh well.
You took one for the team. We won.
I guess. Yeah, we did win exactly. Matt, anything else? Did you want to talk basketball, or we want to talk more football?
Just a thought I had on. I'll definitely talk a little bit about basketball too. But as far as football, man, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to break it down yet. But this schedule. I've been taking a look at this schedule quite a bit over the last week. It is very, very favorable.
Yeah.
And I see, if everything comes together and, we get what we think we're going to get from some of these transfers, in particular at quarterback, I can definitely see a 9-win season here, a 9-win regular season.
There's too many unknowns for me to even think about projecting wins this year.
I'm looking at, all right, so let's go through we can go through it. Kyle, I want to get you. It's early. Don't worry about it. It's way too early.
Sure.
This is for fun. We're not putting money on it.
Okay.
All right. Alabama's going to be an L.
Mm-hmm.
Appalachian State, what you got?
We better win it. I mean, they lost a lot in the portal, too. The problem is I don't know what they have coming back. I don't know what they got at the portal. I got to analyze them just like I'm analyzing us. On paper, I would think we'd win that game, but I haven't analyzed. I do, though, they lost like 30 or 40 players to the portal.
They did.
But that's the game we need to win. We cannot afford to lose 4 in a row to App State. And guys, Stevie's about to check out here. So Stevie, you want to tell everybody goodbye?
See you guys. I got something I got to take care of right quick.
Hey, you got to go to the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
I'm in a rage. I got to get out of here because I'm in a rage. I'm in a rage.
All right, Stevie.
Good night, Stevie.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Stevie.
Yeah. So all right. So App State, I'll say win.
All right. So
I'll say win.
What about you, Alan? App State. Who you got? App State, East Carolina.
I'll tell you the truth. I don't want to bore our viewers. Kyle and Matt can take care of this. I'll set this one out. I'm sure I agree with both of you anyhow.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to throw I'll tell you what, guys, I'll throw the games out to you. You tell me win or loss. And again, just based on, like right now, we know that there's things that can change, injuries, all that. So, all right. We have, so far we're saying Alabama loss, Appalachian State win. That's 1-1. Then we go on the road on September 19th to Old Dominion.
I got to look at what they got coming back. Did they lose that quarterback this year? Or did they
transferred out? Right?
Yeah, he transferred out to the West Coast, I believe.
Again, they lost. They lost their O-line coach. Their OC's back. I got to look what they have coming back. I'm gonna say toss up.
I'll say it's a tough game. It's a tough game, but I think it's one you have to get. And I say we win it.
All right. So we got. I'll go with you, Matt. I like the Allen Old Dominion on the road. You like them to win, us to win or lose that game?
Yeah, I think we get that one. I think it'll be close, but I think we get that one.
Yeah, we pulled out. I think we're 2-1 going into North Carolina.
Who did Old Dominion get out of the portal for quarterback?
I don't know yet.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We can't. It's hard to make realistic projections.
That's why I'm not participating.
Let's call it. Well, let's preface it by calling it the way too early.
Okay. All right. Next. All right. So after that is Central.
Central. We
win. We'll also win.
Yeah, 3-1, and we go.
Wait, did Alan? Who did you have for the App State game?
I'm sorry.
I'll I'll take the Pirates in a very close one. Very close one.
Okay.
So 3-1. And I take it, Alan, you like Central, us to beat Central.
I think that's pretty much a lock.
We better beat Central.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long season, bro, if we don't have that.
Yeah.
Then we have. Then
if we don't, I'll meet you guys at the Green Street Bridge.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy.
Then we have a bye. Looks like we have a bye, and then we play.
We're gonna win that one.
Yeah, I know it's coming. I'm waiting for.
We're gonna beat off next.
Thank you. We have Rice on October the 10th. So
you got a triple option team. I don't know. Again, what did they lose? What do they have coming back? Year 2 in the triple option system. They were good at times last year. We're pretty good against the triple option with Coach Harrell. You should win that game, but again, I don't know what they did they lose many to the portal. If you got everybody back from that offense, if they didn't lose many to the portal, and year 2 under that offense, they could be a problem. But I'll say win, but who knows?
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, I'm just going to give you an update on Old Dominion. Colton Joseph went to Wisconsin, and they brought in the quarterback from Washington State.
All right.
Okay. The starter from Washington State this year?
Potter. I think he did start a couple games, but no, he's not he wasn't the primary starter.
So nothing that's going to blow you away,
No.
but he should be solid.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let me just preface really quick one thing I want to say, guys. The reason why I feel good about, and I know, you're 100% right. A lot of moving parts with the portal, the new OC, everything. But you look at this North Texas system, right? It is a quarterback-friendly offense, and I sent you guys some videos. I think I sent them to you the other day. Just some things they do with the tunnel screens and getting the ball out quick. They have a great screen game, wide receiver screens, and they run the ball pretty effectively too. So I just feel like I'm really not too concerned about the offense coming together. I think it'll come together pretty quick.
Yeah.
You just got so many new pieces. I mean, you got new quarterbacks, and I know they played in similar systems, and but it's just anyway. Keep going with the schedule. So Rice, I'll say win, but I think that could be tricky. Matt, I'm assuming you're going to say win.
I got to win. Yep.
Alan,
I think we take an L there.
Okay.
I got to win.
I hope I'm wrong.
That makes us 4, and the first 5 games we'll win 4 out of 5.
Well, I mean, I had one as a toss-up, and then Alan has that one as a loss.
Yeah.
But all right, so next.
UAB on the road. That's a Thursday night.
I know nothing about UAB except they've been the drizzling shits. They made their OC their head coach. You got to win. I can't imagine they're going to be good. You got to win that game.
Yeah. All right. Then we have the second Thursday night game. The Thursday night games are back-to-back on the road at Memphis.
Loss.
All right. What do you think?
Loss.
Matt, UAB and Memphis. You didn't give either one of those.
Oh, UAB a win, Memphis a win, and Memphis got absolutely.
Yeah, but they did well in the portal.
By the portal.
They did well in the portal, though, Matt.
Yeah. No, they did. And I don't know. I'm just feeling.
What point in the season? Are we in November by that point?
October 22nd.
Ooh, I wish that was in November. His teams typically fall apart in November.
Well, we
historically.
And guys, Matt.
Whose team is it though? Who's the coach now?
Dude from Marshall and Southern Miss.
Huff.
Charles.
Huff. Yeah, Huff teams typically fall apart in November.
Hey Matt, I've got the game for you. You and Chrissy away, everybody. I tell you the game you got to come to.
Yeah, I agree with you on this, Matt or Dave. I think Halloween Temple.
Halloween, we're playing Temple on actual Saturday, the Halloween, October 31st.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. No, that is going to be. I know that Temple's a little bit better, but I feel really good about our chances on that game.
Temple didn't lose much in the portal, I don't think. And I think
they've got a much better coach.
Yeah, I think Temple could be dangerous this year. That game's on Halloween, though. We'll know what we have by then. I'm going to say that game's a toss-up, but that should be a lot of fun, and that could be a big game. I think Temple, if I'm right, and somebody, if you know, Temple didn't lose much in the portal, did they? And then they had a good portal signing class, if I remember right.
Yeah, they signed 2 quarterbacks that could be future stars. One from Penn State and the other guy from Washington State. So
Okay.
they have
Alan,
the guy from Penn State was very well thought of.
Alan, what do you think about the Temple game in Greenville, Halloween?
I'll say
I'll take that. I think that's going to be a win.
Matt?
Really like that coach at Temple. I think he's going to do a really good job there, but I don't think they're ready yet for that win. So I'm taking.
So according to Matt, we're going to go undefeated except for Alabama.
No, I'll tell you that.
I really am feeling pretty bullish about the first what is it? Is that 8? Did we go through 8 games right there or 7?
Yes. Let's see. You got. Hold on 1 second.
And I'm never this optimistic.
That's the 8th game, Matt.
That's the 8th game. All right.
I just don't know how you can be so optimistic with so many unknowns.
Hey, I'll tell you the game that scares me the most on the schedule. I'm going to tell you the conference game that scares me the most is the very next game, November 6th, the Friday night game with South Florida.
South Florida lost a lot, but they did really well in the portal. New head coach.
That's the one that scares me.
I hate that that's a Friday game because that game. You'd probably have a good crowd, but you're going to have a Friday game after a Saturday Halloween homecoming game.
And for Alan and I, that's the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game. I don't know. I hate to cop out again, and I'm going to say toss up on that one too.
What do you think, Matt? I mean, that game scares me as far as the crowd, the atmosphere. But
if we're winning, if we're doing what Matt thinks we're going to do, then you can take a lot of those crowd worries out no matter what.
That's true.
Yeah, this one's a toss up for me. I'm actually leaning towards we're going to have to lose at some point. So I mean,
that's the L for me.
For me, I'll lean towards an L for this one.
Yeah, right. South Florida lost a lot of players to Auburn, but they had the number 1 portal class in the conference.
And then
there are 41 players to bring it in.
And then Matt, the next game is your second favorite school, and we're at Charlotte on November 14th. That's going to be a W.
Better be.
Easy dub, I would think, right?
They'll be a lot better this year. Their head coach is good, but I mean, I won't say it'll be easy. I do think they've got a really good head coach, and it's year 2 for him. I think they'll be a much improved football team, but I think coach puts a big importance on in-state games, and I think he's going to handle business against App and Charlotte.
Our last road game of the year is at West Point and Army, November 21st.
Loss.
You want loss?
I'm going loss. Yeah, they'll be much improved from last year. We dominated them here last year, and I just don't see us doing that 2 years in a row. You get travel to West Point. I think we play well, but I think we lose in a close game.
That is, by the way, I hate that date because that's our Williamston's Christmas parade day. And I know, Matt, you love parades so much, but I'm like, man, I want so bad. And I was going to see some minutes that we could hang out, but unfortunately I won't be able to make that trip. But anybody, if you're a Pirate fan, I'm telling you, that is one of the coolest. Even though we played horrible that day and Mike Houston got fired the next day, it was I had a great time. And I'm going to tell
Matt, that's the weekend before Thanksgiving. Is the foliage still out, or is it gone by that point?
It's still out. It'll still be a really good scene. It'll be a great scene. It is a really cool place to take in a game. I'm not sure if all you guys have been there before, but it's a good spot.
I have not.
Just the thought process I have about the academies. I like to get them early in the season if I can. They get more dangerous as the season goes on.
I agree.
And you're catching them late at West Point. I'm leaning towards an L here, but look, I think Blake does know how to defend the option, and I think it's going to be a very close game. Like I think the days of us getting blown out by option teams are over.
I agree.
And so I think it, could come down to, can you get that critical stop when they're in 4-down territory? Can you get them off the field in like a 4th and 2? it's going to be that type of game. But right now, I'll say that's an L.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys? Alan, Johnny?
I've got to go. I've got to go lost with that one. That's going to be a tough road to hoe right there.
Johnny, what do you think?
Johnny's not been doing it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I don't.
All right, let's get Johnny. All right, yeah. We'll let you recuse yourself.
We can move the show along so we can get to basketball eventually.
Yeah, we are. We're almost there.
Johnny has not. Johnny says we haven't lost a game yet, but we haven't won a game yet either. So
yeah, Florida Atlantic's final game of the regular season. They're going to be much improved. They had to get offense last year. They totally decided they didn't give a shit about playing once bowl eligibility was gone, and they barely lost to UConn the following week against us. They decided they didn't want to show up. So we get them in Greenville Thanksgiving weekend this year. I think they'll be playing. I think you'll have two teams both in bowl games. I think Florida Atlantic's going to be improved a lot. That's senior day in Greenville. I think it'll be a very close game. I think Florida Atlantic's going to be a very improved team, but I think we win it.
What about you, Matt?
I got it as a win.
Alan?
That's a W.
Yeah, and I this part you're gonna like. Kyle's gonna like go nuts, but I'm telling you, Matt, everybody needs to make sure that they have the first weekend of December off. I think we're gonna be. I think we will host it. If not, we don't host it.
Matt and Dave have us with 2 conference losses. Alan with 3, and I have a lot of toss ups. 2 conference losses, we could definitely be in the conference championship game.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. The Army game makes me nervous, and USF makes me nervous. Those 2 are the ones that I'm. If you said which that would make us 9-3. The Alabama game is going to be really hard, but the 2 conference games that I'm concerned about are all of them, because you can lose every one of them.
I'll tell you what, I will say this. Memphis, our tougher conference games are later in the season when we have a chance to get established. Memphis, Army, South Florida, we all get later in the season. So that's a good thing with as much rebuilding as we're doing on offense. The one thing about it is we're not the Lone Rangers. We're not the only ones having to do this.
Correct. And I think Matt, I agree with you. That makes me happy to hear that Matt feels that we're going to have a much better year for sure. Guys, we'll definitely talk more about football, and we'll love to have you back on, Matt. Obviously, the spring game, for folks that don't know, is Saturday, April the 18th, and I was wrong on that, so it's not the same time as Pirate Fest like they normally do. Pirate Fest will be the next week, but anyway, we would love to have as many people as we can get there. There'll be a lot of fun.
There is home baseball that weekend, and you got Tracy Bird and Colt Ford in Kinston.
There you go.
Okay, I was going to add something to Kyle's. Yeah, I agree with Kyle that he said we could lose 2 conference games and still make the conference championship game. But I want to host the conference championship game, and UTSA's schedule, they have all their harder opponents: North Texas, Navy, South Florida at home.
Sorry, guys.
Dave's determined to get us copyrighted. Mute yourself, Dave.
Anyhow, Dave, I think that UTSA could go through the thing only losing 1 game. So, I mean, I feel like we have to be like close to perfect, which we're not going to be. But
there's nothing I'd love better than to go to San Antonio with the conference championship game on the line after last year.
But they cheat down there, Kyle.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll go down there. We'll go down there, and you just go down there with a bad attitude, and you can cheat all you want to. You just got to lay the wood, baby. You just got to lay the wood.
It's the 90s defense. I'll put. I know Matt's on the show, but I'll take the 90s defense and put it up against UTSA, and they'll get mauled.
Could you imagine though, after last year, if UTSA was in Greenville for the conference championship this year? I mean, in San Antonio, I think it would be poetic justice. But if it was in Greenville, I mean, that would.
Oh my goodness,
Kyle. Can you imagine that place with the atmosphere?
It would arguably be the biggest home game ever. Correct?
If the playoffs were on the line, and you don't know if they would be, because other conferences, the Pac-12 now will be in existence. Mountain West has done some interesting things. So you don't know for sure that would be for a playoff spot. But if it was for a playoff spot, yes, it would be the biggest home game ever.
Yep.
Yeah, and Jeff Traylor, guys, he really went off the deep end towards the end of last season. He made things very personal against East Carolina. I thought
he did the same thing against the Navy after that.
Yeah, he did. He
Army,
really,
rather. Army.
It was Army, and Tulane's coach has the beef with him as well.
Yeah, and then he was talking trash about Mr. Beast, which ends up. By the way, that's something else Gilbert touched on in his interview with Holton. He said the $100 million thing. He implied that probably wasn't going to happen. He said, but what we're trying to do with Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast uses our facilities a lot, and there's always a fee for using those facilities. And what we're trying to get Mr. Beast to do is donate a large sum of money for a partnership where he has access to all our facilities all the time for a sit fee, a large donation yearly to the athletic department. So that sounds like what we're trying to do.
Well, whatever we have to do to make, when you're looking at, and Matt, with this, by the way, I was just going to tell you guys, the indoor practice facility, I hate to use the term game changer, but every time I drive by there now, guys, when I'm on campus or I drive by on Charles Boulevard, that makes us look like we were big time. But now when you see that massive structure, that is going to be a wow factor. It's really looking.
Yeah, we're done with facilities. We just need to keep everything upgraded, up to date, that kind of thing. The indoor practice facility was the last thing we really need to build. Now we just got to keep everything modern. But I think we're getting towards the end of this show, and I think JR and Matt wanted to talk a little shooty hoops.
Yeah, we do that. And before we do that, I just want to say really quick, because I'll forget, congratulations to Kim McNeil. Matt, how about this? 22-9 on the regular season.
Second in the regular season.
Second in the regular season. They're the number 2 seed. So we do have salvation with the women. They're playing a very exciting brand of basketball.
And the word, I guess, at this point is, if you don't win the conference tournament, WNIT's a lock.
I think so. 22 wins. I really do. But we'll see. I don't know that officially. But 22 wins. If they get a couple, they're going to be in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
With their
probably we win the tournament and we're playing in the NCAAs, but it would be fun to host some NIT games in Greenville.
I'll be there if they do. But and softball has done well also, guys. I think they won 3 out of 4. They're like something like 16-9, I think, Johnny. Something like that. But
take your word for it.
The Fonz is getting it done.
I'm going to start following softball, Dave. But to be
honest, they are really Shane Winkler. We give Gilbert a hard time, but when he does something right, his coaches, for the most part, have been really, really good. And Shane Winkler, 17-9.
Yeah, but man, they have a lot of really nice wins.
Yes, they do. So I want to give them love, because I am going to talk a lot about basketball, and I know you want to. So I wanted to throw that in there. I know that's in passing. We'll talk more about them at a later date. But I just have to say, I told you in the group chat, I'm going to kick it around with you guys, but I'm so embarrassed. Is that the word? Like, I feel like I'm Matt right now. I'm so embarrassed that we didn't even make my inner Matt is coming out. We did not even make the conference tournament. And we are 11-20, guys. How is that successful? How can you hang your hat on 11-20? Whoever wants.
Well, I mean, you can't. It sucks. It sucks, and there's really nothing good you can spin about it. But we're going to keep Mike the Schwartz beefcake for another year, and he it kind of is what it is. That there's really nothing more I can say about it. I know Alan's a big Mike Schwartz fan, but we're keeping him another year. Bottom line is, next year, you either get it done or you go back to being an assistant coach somewhere. That's the bottom line. I mean, he's going to have to really hit the portal hard, and he can't miss. I heard Gilbert talking about what is so glaring when you miss on a player in the portal in basketball versus football. Well, no shit. You don't have to take it. He's talking about, because he's like, you only have 5 guys on the court. Well, you also don't take 57 guys out the portal either. So yeah, it's more glaring, because there's not that many you have to take, so you can't miss on them. This is it for Schwartz. So there's really not much to analyze. Hey, y'all can analyze all you want, but from my standpoint, with the decision's been made, he's back next year. So it's time to he either gets it done or he doesn't. It's really that simple. There's no question next year. Nobody's going to sit here and ask. You know, the question is, what is the threshold? My only question for next year is, what is the threshold for success to keep him? Is it a winning season? Is it 19 wins? Is it 20 wins? You know, I don't know what the threshold is to keep him next year. I would say probably 18, 19 wins, if you ask me. But it's pretty much next year is get it done or he's gone, and that's the way it is. And he's lucky to get next year. Mike Schwartz should be tickled he's getting next year. And you got to go all in. This is it. You know, this is it. He's his career in terms of being a head coach is all in for next year. And so we'll see what he does in the portal. We'll see what he can retain from this team. And you know, this time next year we'll know.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think you look at like what we're going to have coming back, next year, and I think we're going to have to part ways with a number of the guys. I think, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out for certain guys. Like Felton and Bang. We'll see on Delorier. I'd like to see Delorier back next year because I think he did improve a little bit as the season went on. So I'd like to see him back. But I think we're going to have to part ways with a handful of guys, and that's just kind of the way of the world in college sports in 2026. But look, I think more than anything, this staff has got to do a better job evaluating talent, and they need to bring in perimeter shooters, guys who can consistently knock it down from behind the arc. And that's what college basketball is nowadays. You've got to be able to shoot from the perimeter, and you need a point guard that can kind of break it down and get into the paint and kick. So it's going to come down to talent evaluation. We're probably going to have less money to spend than we did last year. Can Schwartz get it done? I don't know. I've been pretty vocal. I was not in favor of, I'll say it. I thought we should have went a different direction, but Schwartz is here, so I'm gonna support him as long as he's here. But it does. We've got to upgrade the talent level. And look, there's enough shooters out there. When you watch smaller conferences, right? Like you watch the MAC, you watch the Atlantic 10. I mean, there's shooters all over the country.
Yep.
So we can identify those guys and get them here, but I don't know. I guess I'm very skeptical if we can find that kind of talent and bring it in.
Alan, what do you think?
Well, we talked about it ad nauseum the last 2 or 3 shows. You got to do well in the portal, and again, you got to look. You got to sign a couple of local kids. I really believe there's enough talent to help you locally that can give you some help, give you some depth. This is make or break, and you guys are right. I'm a Mike Schwartz fan. I think he's a really good basketball coach, but this is it, and I'm totally on board with this is it. I mean, he's got to get it done, and this is going to be pretty much a total rebuild for ECU. So we'll see. It's either going to go one way or the other. I think we'll know pretty quickly by the end of middle of December how things are going to go next year.
Al, it's like Elvis. It's now or never, right?
It is now or never for sure. Oh, Solo Mio.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, Johnny, can I throw it to you on this stat, or you tell me how you feel, and then I'll throw us the stat that you and I have been talking about.
Okay. Oh, all right. So how do I feel? I felt like when Mike Schwartz was hired, I felt like, man, I don't want to see Dooley go, but I like this hire. I think it's a good hire. I didn't want a recycled, 500 small conference guy that never, gets to the next level. Not that Mike Schwartz has proven anything, but I thought from, where he came from, I was excited that he was coming here. I supported the hire. I did not support the 1-year extension last year after he won 19 games, 2 of them against, Division II schools. I just didn't I didn't think it was called for, but it happened. So I think that dictated that he get another year. I mean, cost effective wise, but how about we win a game at home? I mean, in conference, we're 2-7 at home. That's embarrassing. He's a defensive coach apparently, but the Pirates, I only went back to 1999 because it's really difficult to research beyond that point. It's really difficult to research beyond 2015, but I took the effort to go to 99, and no Pirate basketball team has ever given up 75 points a game. We gave up 77.5 this season.
Wow.
You're not going to win any games like that. You don't win at home. You give up 77.5 points a game. And here's the other thing. We talked about it, and then Alan just mentioned it. I'm tired of reading on X about local high school coaches that say there's no cooperation between, Mike Schwartz's staff and them. They're ghosts. They don't even know. He doesn't even know that they exist. I hate that. And also, I'm concerned about our whole GM situation. Our GM is also an assistant coach. He's on the bench every game, and I like the guy personally, and I want him to do well. But let's let him be the GM and get him off the bench. I mean, I just don't understand how he's supposed to, be doing what GMs are supposed to do. Looking at players available in the portal, recruiting, all that stuff. Working the figures, all that, but he's on the bench every game. I don't think I'm talking about Michael Perry. And again, this is nothing against Michael Perry. He's been a treasure for us in so many different ways. But it's not fair to him, in my opinion, to say he's the GM and then give him additional duties. I just don't feel like that's fair.
It's like the president of a bank working the drive-through. It just
like a sucker.
And to follow up with what Matt said, I agree. We got to cut some people loose. The guy from the two foreign players we got in, Patty, DRC, and Petrovic. They played, I guess, in Europe and where's he from? New Zealand or Australia? I think he's from Australia. Okay. They don't play any defense in those countries apparently because those two they don't even try. And I wanted both of them to be on the court more because we needed 3-point shooting.
Correct.
But when they're on the court, and our 3-point defense is so bad that it makes me mad. I mean, it really does. I've taken several pictures of our defense against 3-point shooting where there is nobody within, I'm not even exaggerating, there's nobody within 15 feet. But all of our 3-point shots seem to be contested.
Yeah.
How can we win when we're shooting consistently contested threes and we're given literally there are at least 3 or 4 shots a game where they're just completely wide open. And I don't understand why they haven't worked on that in the last 3 years. It happens every year.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what, JR? Like when we go man to man on defense, we just get carved up. So you saw so much more zone in the second half of the season. But look, people are going to figure out a zone. They're going to get open looks, and it's just a liability. We've got to get to a point where we have the personnel to play tight man defense, and then look, you can mix up your defenses and play zone occasionally but we've got to have a team that can play man-to-man defense and be more competitive. And I totally agree with you. And, I just think that, and I'm not knocking, I don't want to knock those guys, but to your point, DRC and was it Perkovic? I think
Petrovic.
They just didn't show anything this year. And the situation that Schwartz is in where he's got to win now, he can't afford, in my opinion, to keep guys around that just haven't shown anything. It's just he's going to have to make tough decisions. And, you look like who do you bring back? I mean, I think Calker, I'm going to bring back.
You got to bring him back. But you still need another point guard. He's not we need to bring him back. I agree.
Yeah, maybe, and somebody who's going to get minutes and help out. Maybe he's not a starting point guard. I mean, I'd like to see us, bring in a starting point guard as well. And
Yep.
I do think, like I said, I think Delorier has ability. I think he can take a big leap.
He's an athletic dude for someone that size.
Yeah, and he can shoot it a little bit, guys. He can
Yeah, he
shoot
takes
it.
some threes.
Obviously his season was very inconsistent. He had some injuries and whatnot, but I would bring him back. But look, other than that, I mean, it's open season. I mean, this is a business now, and we've got to be able to win games.
Can I read some stats real quick? These I'll be very brief with these, but I gotta go. I mean, I have to.
JR, before you do that, I'm gonna call it a night, guys. It's been real.
To give you credit.
Well, I'll take credit even off the air, JR.
Okay.
But I don't know what you're going to give me credit for about basketball.
Well, because you said something that, we can't even, like high school recruiting is almost like going to be shoved to the back table because he can't afford to wait. We got to
and I do agree. And I've said that for years. We need to get more Eastern North Carolina talent. I don't know why.
But this isn't the year to do it.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah. But we can't because he's going to have to work the portal. So,
it's a 5-star guy. If it's a 4 or 5-star guy, we've got a 4-star guy coming from
north of Charlottesville.
But we're not even recruiting Eastern North Carolina, so it's too late. Yeah. But I don't know why we don't do that. But that's something the next guy needs to address. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Schwartz is a hell of a nice guy, but I just have never been impressed. The question when you hire a head coach is an upgrade. Was Schwartz an upgrade from Dooley? No. And then I'll leave it there. And I wish him all the success in the world next year. Anybody's the head coach of the Pirates, I'm going to root for him. I'm going to be critical of it when it needs to be critical of. I'm not that passionate about basketball, so I can live with it. But I'll leave it with that. And good luck to Schwartz this offseason in recruiting, and good luck to him next year on the court. And if he wins, I'll be happy to eat my words. But I just haven't been impressed by him since he's been here. And make me eat my words next year, Coach Schwartz. I hope you do. And that's all I got. And I'll be looking forward to watching the ladies in the conference tournament and see if we can make a run to the NCAA tournament. Baseball this week, next week, rest of the season, got to get things rolling. I still think we got a great baseball team, and we'll be playing in June. That's all I got, guys. Go Pirates.
All right, good night.
See you, man.
All right, I'm going to do this quickly, but these stats, okay, this is for the American Conference. Okay, we have 13 teams in the American Conference. Okay, offensive efficiency, we're 11th. Defensive efficiency, we're 12th. Margin of game margin, we're 12th at negative 5.9 points per game. Team field goal percentage, we're 12th. Field goal percentage defensively, we're 13th. 3-point percentage, we're 12th. Defensive 3-point percentage, we're 13th. Free throw percentage, we're 9th. So we got that going. But turnover, we're 10th. Assist to turnover ratio, we're 12th. You know what we are good at, though? Average home attendance. That's our strong point. We're 6th, averaging 3,364. Now, by contrast, though, Dave, we're talking about, we should have more money than anybody. Memphis is getting 96.07 per game, and Wichita State's getting 6,019 per game. So we're well behind those two teams, but we are 6th in the conference in home attendance. But other than that, every one of these stats is just horrible.
JR, do you have our percentage? What did we shoot from the 3-point line as a team?
28.8%.
Yeah, I was going to
say. But hold on, Matt. Hold on. I need to qualify that number. I'm going to qualify that number because Gardner, by himself, he came in and he didn't even take a 3 for the first 2 games. He looked lost to me the first 2 games. But man, when he dialed in, he's shooting on the season 42.6%. And Corey Cocker started the season 11 for 57, which is 18%, but finished the season 30 for 69, which is almost 44%. So Cocker and Dimitri Gardner elevated those numbers. Without those 2 guys, those numbers would be, we're already dead last, but we would even be, we'd be in the teens without those 2 guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame that Gardner, because he really did some nice things for, considering he came in mid-season. It's so unusual. Yeah. And he really helped the team quite a bit. It's a shame that he's done. I mean, it's really is a shame. I'd love to have him for another year, but I guess that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Johnny, I want you to this stat right here, Matt, and I've already put in the group chat. But this stat right here, to me, if you said whether we should keep Schwartz or not, and I know we are, I'm just saying, but I want the administration to tell me that this is okay for where we rank in the number. We have 19 schools in North Carolina that play Division I. And Johnny, tell them where we rank.
Net ranking. Well, for most of the season out of 19, we've been at 16. Now we finished at 15 because North Carolina AT&T just had a horrendous finish to their season. So we finished 15th out of 19 schools in the state of North Carolina in both Ken Palm and net. And, we're behind Queens, who, they weren't, was Queens even a thing as far as basketball goes, like 10 years ago?
No, they have just moved up to Division I.
Well, they moved up and they're already doing things. And I'm not going to mention High Point because they're going to make they won the conference tournament again, so they'll be back to the NCAA tournament for 2 years in a row. But we're behind NC Asheville, Elon. I mean, Elon's another team that, they weren't even in Division I not too long ago.
Yep.
Wow. And we can't do better than those three teams. And that's nobody's opinion. Those are a computer spitting out numbers. That's nobody no favoritism, no nothing.
15 out of 19, that's where we rank. And look, I understand we have the ACC. We have 4 ACC schools. We should at least be in the top 10, top 5. Yeah. I mean, there's no with our amount. This is what kills me. It comes down. They get mad, but I'm going to say it over and over again. Until you make a commitment to basketball, we don't even look. If you're, I'll say this too. Maybe you just like baseball only, or you like football only. You need to start being a basketball fan because we will be in a bigger conference if we improve our basketball. Our facilities are much better now. The one thing that's missing is men's basketball because football and basketball are your 2 revenue sports. And I'm going to Alan's on and check this out, Matt. You and Johnny are going to Alan and I did the Martin County Kinston game, and he can tell you by the end of the first quarter, we had over 6,100 people in there at $15 a piece. You can do the math. It was so loud. If those guys hadn't been on press row with me to do that game, I would. If I didn't have my headset on, that's the only way I could barely hear them, and I was talking louder because I couldn't hear myself talk. That's the kind of atmosphere that our fan base deserves. I know that it was a high school game. I know it was an Eastern Regional Final. That's the blowback I'm going to get.
No, you're not, Dave. Did we ever get that number this season? I don't think so.
No, never came close to 6,100. No.
But I'm telling you guys, that place, my point is, and Alan and I told Alan, that's probably the loudest it's been since the NC State ECU game when we won in, I think it was December of 2007, off the top of my head. But when good old Sidney Lowe with that red jacket. But no, seriously, I'll let you talk about Alan, but it was unbelievable. I told him I hated we lost the game, but it was a great game. And the atmosphere made you mad because you're like, East Carolina the night before didn't have this kind of atmosphere.
That was the only basketball sporting event I've ever been to or broadcasted. When I got home, my ears were literally ringing.
Matt,
wow. It was so loud. I've done racing. I've done, loud sports, monster trucks, whatever. But my ears literally were ringing for 3 or 4 hours after I got home. It was deafening in Minji's, deafening.
I told them every time my Apple Watch, Matt, it was over 95 decibels multiple times.
Wow. And who played in the game? Who was the opponent?
High school, Martin County versus Kinston.
Okay.
So right there, you've got guys right there on both of those teams that could be on our squad.
Yeah, Kinston's had a great basketball tradition for the last 30 years or more in numerous state championship appearances.
Yep, and they're getting another one this week. But anyway, 6,100, and that place was rocking. Like I said, the only thing that was bad was the outcome of the game. But Kinston is very good, so you tip your hat to them. They were the better team. But
there were probably 3,500, maybe 3,700 for the Goldsboro girls. That was the game before the game that we did.
Yeah.
So
wow,
there was
that's
more
awesome
people for the girls game than we normally have. So, and I'm not trying to knock people. I just want people to realize that we're not even. And Matt, I thought about you with this word. The sad thing is, I would not be happy if we were mediocre, but we're not even mediocre in basketball. I mean, and so there's no reason for me to say mediocre when that we're like looking up to mediocre, and they get mad at me when. Let me just say this too: if you give $1 or you give $5 million, you have a right to your opinion because you're spending your hard-earned money. You take a guy like Matt Semenza, for example. He would be at every single game if he lived anywhere close to Greenville, and he has to pay a lot of money to come to 1 or 2 games a year in football, for example, and not to mention the bowl game. But we've got to put, for basketball, getting back to that, we got to put a tremendous product, and you got to take a guy like JR. He spends some of his time up in Virginia, so he's having to make plans to come all the way down, his gas, food, all that he's having to spend out of his pocket. Allen's local, but he doesn't have to come over and spend money there at in Greenville.
Can I say something about that, Dave? Why I do that?
Yeah,
it's because we've been blessed. I mean, literally, we have been blessed as East Carolina Pirate basketball fans with having, of the top 19 all-time single-season scoring records in Pirate history, 5 of them happened in the last 3 years. We had last year we had Jordan Riley, RJ, and CJ. All of them were top 19 scoring records. And then the year before that, RJ had, a phenomenal season. And now this year, Jordan Riley had the second all-time, the highest scoring single season of all time at 707 points. Only Blue Edwards has scored more points than Riley Jordan in a season. So I do want to give thanks to Riley Jordan. And to RJ Felton was just such a good ambassador for the basketball community. And I just don't know where we're going to go next year. We don't have a Riley, we don't have a RJ, we're going to have to find somebody because those guys were special. And, we didn't have a lot of success with them, but they played their heart out every single game. So,
and man, Jordan Riley left it all on the floor every night. I mean, he got physically abused. How many times did that kid hit the floor, with a thump, driving to the basket or whatever? He just, I bet you he was bruised black and blue after most games. He gave effort. He played hard. He just left it all on the floor. He really did.
You know what, Alan?
And think about with the way he plays, guys. If the way he can penetrate and get to the bucket, if you had some perimeter shooters where you could kick the ball out to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even if you just had one guy who was lethal from the arc. I mean, because the thing that Jordan Riley he's so good at is he can go one-on-one. He can improvise. He can take you off the dribble, put it on the floor, and get to the rim. And then he's got the mid-range. He got so much better in the mid-range this year. But like a player like that, man, if you can just, the penetrate and kick, is what I'm referring to. And it's a shame because if we could have put some, to your point, Alan, he was so tough. I mean, he got knocked to the floor night after night, but there just wasn't enough around him, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate for him because the kid had a hell of a season. And I do have a lot of respect I thought he brought it every night. I really do. I thought he brought it every night. And, that's a tough spot, man. When you're a senior on a team who, it was pretty evident early on that there's very little hope of, having some great season. But, he still brought it. And that's credit to him.
Yeah. You know what, Matt and Alan, the way he played, though, I think he was worn out. I mean, you saw Matt in the 2 overtime games we lost at home. He played like it was up to him. Nobody else was gonna pull the game out. It was completely up to him. And I think he played 47 or 48 minutes in that double overtime loss. and like 44 minutes in the single overtime loss. And I think he was just worn out because tonight I've never seen this ever from Jordan Riley. He was the 5th leading scorer for the Pirates tonight. I mean, that's just not what Jordan Riley does. He was 3 for 20 for field goals and 0 for 4 from 3-point range. I think they were definitely someone else has to beat us because UAB is not going to let Riley Jordan beat him. So they were double teaming him a lot, but still he can take a double team and still get his points. But tonight, I just felt like he was worn out.
Well, I tell you what, again, I know I say it a lot, but 11 and 20 is unacceptable. I don't care what level you can throw levels at me. You can throw that we don't have a tradition, blah, blah, blah. But 11 and 20 is not unacceptable. For me, I mean, to not make the conference tournament is very embarrassing. Like, I just don't understand. I don't agree with the American. I will say this to defend Schwartz and Gilbert and everybody. Every team should make the tournament. I don't like the fact that the women and men play in the same week. So that means that's one of the reasons why not everybody makes the tournament. And I think that's we're the American. They can hate me too, but they have the women at the beginning of the week and the men. The women should have played this week and the men next week, and that way we would get all that. We would get all the teams in there. Yeah. I don't. You can definitely work it out with 13 teams. You can definitely do it with buys and different things.
We've done it before.
Yeah.
I will say, you say 11 and 20s. You're not going to cut it. We're one swallowed whistle against Elizabeth City State from being 10 and 21 because they were definitely fouled on that last shot attempt.
It was like 2 seconds to go, and we fouled them.
And it wasn't called, and we darn near lost to a Division II team.
Yeah.
So.
Here's what I want to know, fellas, and help me out with this because maybe you guys have a little more intel on how much money we have to spend this year, but here's kind of my issue that I see is, by all accounts, last year we had, from what I understand, about $1.3 million to spend.
Yes.
Right? Roughly, give or take $100,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now it sounds like we're going to have less to spend this year. What is the plan? I would love to know what the plan is to turn it around. Like, what are we going to do differently this year? All right, with less money, to make an impression on these athletes where they're going to commit to East Carolina. That to me is what I would love to hear. I would love to hear a plan laid out, and because it just seemed like last offseason, it just seemed like there was no plan. Like, we were just signing random guys. Like, I don't know if maybe we were just missing on all of our top guys, but we did have some money to spend, and it just seemed very odd to me, the structure of this team, like the way it was put together. When you look at it, like it just didn't flow, the structure of it. So that's what I want to know. And I don't know if you guys have any insight on that, but that's kind of where I'm thinking.
Money wise, I don't have any insight, but Matt, constructively speaking, it was his team. I mean, he got these players in here, but then it seemed like, especially at the guard position and point guard specifically, he just was tinkering nonstop the entire year. Like, he could never get a consistent lineup. Mbang, it turned out that I know that you are probably on the same page as me with this one, but his turnovers were egregious. Like, Corey Cocker had some turnovers, but they were trying to make, an aggressive pass. Mbang's turnovers were just throwing it to the other team, and he did it a lot, and he didn't offer us any defense whatsoever. And, I just don't understand why he got so much playing time there at the end. And I'm hoping that we don't bring him back. And I don't speak about players. You know me, Matt. I never do that. But these guys are getting paid now. They're getting paid. Yep. So they have our money. So I don't think we should pay them anymore. That's just my opinion.
There's only two guys that I thought were consistently giving effort all year. That was Jordan Riley and Emma Juru. consistently diving for loose balls, doing that sort of thing. And that's what bothered me too. I just didn't see the fire. Matt hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago. No perimeter shooters. Riley was drawing 3, 4, sometimes 4, defensive players around him. He kicks it out to a guy on the perimeter that's a reasonable perimeter shooter, and we got some very different results.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you should give Gardner more credit though, because he was our second leading scorer since he arrived. And Emma Ruju, his thing is getting to the foul line. That's what he does really well. Him and Jordan Riley combined shot 64% of our foul shots for the season. I don't think there's any other team in the nation that has two guys shooting 64% of their foul shots. The thing is, Jordan Riley shot, a pretty good percentage, over 70. Emma Ruju couldn't shoot a foul shot, so he was getting fouled a lot, but he wasn't converting. I just feel like Gardner was more valuable in the second part of the season. We could have had him at the start of the season, but there wasn't a spot for him. So, I guess with maybe I don't know whose injury it was. Maybe Jay Shane finally was determined that he couldn't play anymore. And that made him available. But man, we could have had him from the start of the season, from what I've been told. Well, elected not to do that and elected to go with other people. And if we would have had him from the start, it might have been a different season.
Yeah. He got off to a slow start, but he really came on in the last 10 or 11 games.
Well, his slow start was only his first 2 games where he didn't really even shoot the ball. But after that, he was on fire every single game.
Yeah. And that's tough to come into a team mid-season, guys. Like, you don't know the schemes. You're just basically out there trying to figure it out on the fly. I mean, that's a tough thing to do. So I do give him a lot of credit. I really do.
Matt, you remember, was it last year with Vungo? We got Vungo mid-season, and he was supposed to be, a stud, but it's just so difficult. Like you said, he was completely ineffective. We didn't even play him down the stretch because he wasn't contributing anything.
I think the chemistry was the problem. I mean, I understand that it's not like I'm an old man and I don't like the transfer portal. I have to, I get it. But I think the problem we have is we have a situation where we've got to have a nucleus of guys. And then when Matt would say, hey, Dave, we need a wing player. We need a big man. We need a rim protector. All right, let's go out and get the rim protector. But when you're completely microwaving the team to the point of where Johnny, I think we talked about it. It took till like January the 18th. I mean, it was a long time before you finally said, okay, they've got a little bit of rhythm here. It wasn't, anything to write home about. But that's the thing that frustrated me was that the whole microwaving thing. I know we're going to do it again, but it's like Madden football. It's to me like a Hail Mary, and I understand that we have to make something happen now. We don't have tomorrow as far as multiple seasons, but not having enough high school recruits is a big problem. I'll tell you why. Okay, let's say that I'll just say this. Let's say that he has a winning season, right? Well, you don't have the high school guys the guys that you've got coming behind them, that maybe they start in a year or two. And they have playing time.
Yeah, well, they got red shirts. They can still recruit high school players, but they're not going to contribute this year. But they could contribute after, the following year. We'll redshirt them or something. But Dave, I feel like I'm just dominating this conversation. But man, I'm really passionate about this, and this is going to be my final thing. Probably not, but I'm going to think it might be. When we talked in January 18th, and I said, I can see him starting to gel finally. And they never followed up a good performance with another good performance. That is the thing. They would, look at this, man. We got it figured out now. And then the next game we come out flat and get run over by 18 points. We never, we very rarely had back-to-back or, God forbid, 3 performances in a row where we were looking like we had it figured out.
Yeah. And, guys, there's players out there. Like, I'm one of these guys. I'll be up watching on a weeknight at 1 a.m. watching Cal Poly on ESPN2 versus like St. Mary's Tech, you know. And there's so many shooters around the country. I mean, they're out there. These guys are out there. I'm telling you, and we have got to find them, identify them, make sure our evaluations are solid, and take a shot at these guys because they're out there. And I don't know. I just don't understand how we got into this situation. But as far as your point about the high school players, JR, I mean, yeah, it's so tough now. Like, let's say you bring in 2 or 3 high school guys, right, and they don't play their freshman year.
They're gone.
The way it is now, a lot of these guys are gone. They're in the portal, and so I don't know. I always liked what Florida Atlantic did a few years ago. They had $1 million to spend. They I think they brought in 5 guys, paid them $200,000 each, and built a team like that. And I don't know if we have $1 million to spend, but I feel like you can get 5 good players for that.
Hey, Matt, I lied. I knew I would have more to say, but let me just throw this in here because I'm giving you all the credit for this. You said there's guys out there in smaller schools that can shoot a 3. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what you just said, pretty much?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at the top 10 3-point percentage shooters. And there's some big schools in there, but here we go. Number 1 is from UNC Greensboro. Then we got a guy from Liberty, a guy from Yale, a guy from Belmont, a guy from St. Louis, a guy from Quinnipiac, a guy from Detroit Mercy, a guy from Radford, a guy from Kent State, a guy from Harvard, UCLA, Texas. So you're right. I never even thought about it really, but you nailed that. Most of the guys with the higher percentage or 3-point percentage are in smaller schools. Now they're not facing the same defenses that SEC guys are, but still, it's that stat needs to be recognized. So and that proves your point.
Yes, thank you.
No doubt. I'll tell you, I just want for me, as far as administratively, I want to see more investment. I want to see. Matt, you were not with us the other night, but I said I didn't stay. Don't worry, I didn't stay up all night with this name. But we need to have some kind of fundraising thing, like Operation Basketball. We want our and let me say this: Matt and I are in agreement on this. I know, but I'm tired of hearing about how we're 3rd or 4th or 5th. If you have that kind of mentality, then you're never going to be anything. We need to say we're shooting to be number 1. Okay, so if we finish 3rd or 4th in getting NIL money and revenue sharing, that's fine. But if you have your goal to be 3rd or 4th, then you're satisfied with that. I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. And to hear that we're 15th out of 19th, when we should be competing for championships, no excuses. I don't care I love Schwartz. I want him to be successful. Today I was pulling really hard for that team. I didn't want that to be Jordan Riley's last game, but it was, and so that hurts. But to not spend money, the amount of money, and using excuses, there are no excuses. You need to get up on the phone, call those donors, and say, "Look, I need a commitment of X, whatever the amount of money, whatever Schwartz needs. Let's give him the money, whatever." And also we've got to improve on basketball ticket sales and promotions. We don't do a good job of that. We never have. It's not that I'm anti-Gilbert, and so I look for anything, right? We've always been that way with basketball. We don't care about basketball. And it's like I heard the Toby Keith song today, Alan, and it made me think about this. It's a little less talk and a lot more action. And that's what we need. We need action when it comes to basketball. And I was really hurt this afternoon. I said, we're at the point now where we just need to cut basketball. If we're not going to take it seriously, cut basketball and give more money to other programs.
No, that's not the answer.
Well, that's an emotional response, and I get it. I've been there, but they're not going to. What we've talked about so many things, but there's nothing on a Wednesday night against Tulsa, let's just say for argument's sake, that nothing is done promotions wise to get the fan base engaged and involved. And I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, you got to do some kind of promotion for every home game, something, anything.
Yeah.
And to entice people that are on the fence about coming to basketball, you got to give them a reason to want to come. You got to win some games first, obviously, but there has to be some other things that go along with that to entice people to come to Williams Arena Minges Coliseum, because it's a great facility. It's a great atmosphere when it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's a lot of fun. It's a great family outing. We're just not. There's something missing. And number one is not winning, but number two is promotions and marketing and whatever,
It's the culture, Alan. I'll sum it right. Yes, I agree. It's a culture. There's something missing in the basketball culture at ECU, and it encompasses all those things you're talking about. And if there is something, it's hard to put your finger on it, but it needs a spark. And the thing is, like, the way ECU fans are in Greenville, put together a solid team. They're going to show up. Absolutely. They are going to show up. You got to put a winner on the floor, and and it can happen. Like, there's no reason why it can't happen at East Carolina. There's no reason why it can't happen. Didn't what was it, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Little Wofford, right? Didn't they make a little? Didn't they?
They've done it twice in recent memory.
That's what I'm talking about.
George Mason.
Gardner Webb is the team that finished 19th in the state. They won their first round conference tournament game in the Big South. I mean, they even have that over us. Even teams we finish ahead of. Still, I mean, technically, that'd be awesome. Go to the students get to go to a conference tournament and watch their team win. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to be pulling hard. Matt, I was going to tell you, the Gilbert came in and inherited a mess with basketball as far as the arena. They've done a nice job with the graphics, or look a lot better in there. They've done a really nice job with having the seats on the right. If you're looking at the court, the right side, those purple seats where I sit and Johnny sits, some of the people are not happy with it, but you have the whole left side when the students are gone that they can sell those tickets, But and the lights, I've told this story a couple of times. I'll tell it real fast again. The lights were so outdated that the lights were run on Windows 95, the original computer they had. And a couple of years ago, Alan probably remembers, they turned out the lights, Matt, and they couldn't get the lights back on. It took like 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But what I was getting at is Gilbert has done a nice job, and Ryan Robinson, because they raised $1 million for basketball, and they were able to fix those seating, the new seats on the lower bowl. And then also they fix those lights are very cool. They've got in there. So they've done some nice things. I'm not saying they have not done anything for basketball, but my point is that we need to do a lot more, and we can step up and be truly a legitimate candidate for a bigger conference if we put the money in basketball. We're doing. Look at volleyball. We were a joke in volleyball. Gilbert comes in, makes a nice hire, and now they're winning in volleyball. You look at Kim McNeil. He hired her, and Ryan Robinson was a part of that. She's done a nice job. Has a chance to go to NCAA the last 2 out of 3 years. So the one, and look at Blake Harrell. We could start naming all the coaches, and I don't want to waste time. The one sport that right now is lacking, and it feels like we're talking about it, but not enough people are talking about it, is we need men's basketball to be. When Dave Hart talked about football is healthy, but men's basketball is far from healthy, and I'm hoping that we can fix that.
The one good thing in this environment, guys, and we rail against the portal and all that stuff, but the one good thing is with the portal, if you get it right, you can turn your basketball team around very quickly.
Absolutely.
Very quickly.
I was going to say the same thing, Alan. You're dead on, because that's what Matt was saying. Why can't we get it right? You only need 2 or 3 really decent players to make a huge difference.
And Matt, if I'm Schwartz, I think that's what they did with this kid north of Charlottesville. We've got a 4-star high school guy coming in, 4-star in basketball. that guy, I would tell that guy, you can start playing immediately. you have to earn your way. But if you have a lot of potential, you have a good chance to start your freshman year where you may have to wait somewhere else. But we'll see. But I'm just so frustrated. Very frustrated.
If he's a legitimate 4-star, then I don't think he shouldn't have any problem coming in and at the very least getting really quality minutes on a nightly basis and making a big contribution. Yeah, I know, I agree. I mean, that is one approach you could take with high school recruiting. Like we were talking before about how it's so tough now because if these guys don't play for a year, they hit the portal. But you have a chance maybe if you're recruiting 4-star guys, high-level players, and you give them the opportunity to play from day one, that's how you're going to get them there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I agree. I agree with
Mike Schwartz and his staff know what they're up against. They know what the future, they need to hit the ground running tomorrow. And I'm sure they are. And I'm pulling for them 100%. I do believe in the X's and O's portion for Coach Schwartz. But this is it, guys. We can talk about it all night until Elvis comes back and plays Greensboro. But it is now or never. It is now or never, and we all want to see him succeed and want to see him do well. And but it's got to start immediately.
Yeah.
Well, Matt.
Hey, Matt, and it just may, because I just wanted to follow up with this. This guy is a legit 5-star. He's the 79th overall recruit in the country. I mean, have we ever had somebody top 100 ever?
Whew. Not that I can think of.
His name is Draylon Creasy, and he plays at the Blue Ridge School, which is in Dyke, Virginia, which is just north of Charlottesville, right up around 29. But I'm thinking maybe if we would have dumped Mike Schwartz, maybe Draylon Creasy says, I'll take my talent somewhere else. That could have been part of it. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, that's great. And hey, let's get him on the floor.
But he's not on campus yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't even feel good about this until I see him wearing pirate purple.
Well, like I said, you get a few of those guys, and then you get what we have coming back and a few guys from the portal. It can be done. We'll see how it plays out. We have a year for that to play out. We'll see how the recruiting goes. And Matt and Johnny, the two of y'all do a lot more of that diving and looking through and drilling down as far as the portal goes and recruiting more than I'll speak for myself over Alan, but I look at it a little bit, but not like y'all do. Let's just put it that way. So good luck to our very own Pirates who have a game on Tuesday nights, and we'll talk more about that. We have our next show will be more than likely, I guess it's Thursday night, fellas, for On Deck. So we'll be talking about the Penn series. It's going to be a great series, a great week for the Pirate baseball. We'll stay positive. And do you guys have anything before we get out of here?
No, I just go ahead. I was just going to say, be patient. I mean, I know our bats were on fire today, but Penn, like I said on the last show, they held Texas A&M to 3 runs in 20 innings in the first 2 games in College Station. So that's their Friday and Saturday night guys. So they have good pitchers. So they might keep our backs in check a little bit, but we should definitely win these 3 games. Absolutely.
Get out and support baseball when they're at home. Follow Kim McNeil and the Lady Pirates. Follow softball. And it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be a fun week. And I hope when we get back together on Thursday that we're talking about some W's.
No doubt.
Absolutely. And I guess my final thought is, like, for baseball, hey, it's just all about consistency. It's, you can see flashes, right? Like you see flashes at times where it starts to come together, and you can see the talent. And it's really just a question of this team continuing to grow and get consistent and doing it every day. I think that's the big thing, is you got to be able to do it every day. That's what separates the mediocre teams from the great ones. And but I do think the ability is there. It's just it's got to be consistent. Well, other than that, I appreciate hanging out with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, we enjoyed it more than you, Matt.
Enjoyed it, man. Really, really did.
Yeah, you guys are great. You guys are doing a great job, and it was good catching up with you guys.
No doubt.
And take care, buddy.
We have a lot of great listeners and viewers. Thank you so much. We'll be back Thursday night. If it's Sunday, You're watching the Extra Innings right here on the Sports Objective. Good night, everybody. And as always, go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.